Welcome everybody to the Fox 10 News Now stream. Part of fox10phoenix.com. We're taking a live look here in San Francisco where fire officials evacuated 10 buildings this afternoon in San Francisco's South of Market neighborhood, where a 2,000-pound concrete slab is at risk of falling from the 30th floor of a building under construction. So look at this concrete slab, folks. I mean, this is very much tilted. It is at risk of totally crashing down to the streets below. We're going to watch this as long as we have aerials here on the Fox 10 and News Now stream. All right, folks, welcome to the Fox 10 and News Now stream. We're taking a live look here as major evacuations have been triggered by this loose concrete slab that is threatening to fall from the 30th floor. We're going to keep an eye on it as long as we have aerials here for you, but wow, this is definitely a scene that the building contractors definitely never wanted to see, and now they are faced with an ultimate dilemma here. Fire officials are evacuating 5 buildings this afternoon in San Francisco's South of Market neighborhood, where a 2,000-pound concrete slab is at risk of falling from the 30th floor of a building under construction. This is happening at 41 to Hamma Street. Fire officials now evacuating the site and 4 nearby sites, including 543 Howard Street and 44, 56, and 56 Tahama Street. San Francisco Fire Department PIO Jonathan Baxter updated the situation at 4 o'clock local time there and said the unoccupied building suffered a wall failure on the top floor as the wall was being constructed. He added that a crane attached to the top of the roof is right now compromising the wall. Construction workers have been evacuated. Fire officials said there are no injuries to civilians or fire department staff. Officials are awaiting information from structural engineers on how to remedy this situation safely. The San Francisco Department of Emergency Management officials are warning people to please avoid the area because they just don't know what's going to happen here. And welcome everybody joining us live here on Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live. You are looking at a building contractor's worst nightmare as this huge concrete slab could fall. You see they have the structural engineers there right at the scene, but they are looking at this building that is under construction and wondering, can this slab fall? And can they actually save this building, or will they have to tear it all down because it could be at risk right now of falling? This huge 2,000-pound concrete slab could be coming to the ground there. So we are monitoring this very closely. You're watching live with us from all over the world. We appreciate all our viewers. They're very interested in this story here as it's a building under construction in San Francisco, and we are monitoring it very closely. We're going to have aerial for you as long as we can of this aerial coverage. Thank you. All right, there. Looks like the helicopter is going to refuel. We'll see if it comes back a little bit later in the evening, and we'll see if that slab is still there when it comes back. For more continuous coverage, please join us on fox10phoenix.com. All right, everybody, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. You're taking a live look at the White House, and I'm going to have a story for you coming up next here of a millennial who won the lottery, but now she's saying that winning the lottery was the worst thing that ever happened to her in her life. We're going to break it down and wonder, how could that be? All right, everybody, welcome to the Fox 10 and News Now stream, part of the Fox 10 Phoenix.com. I'm your host, Mike Pace. Going to be here with you for the next about 50 minutes or so. Well, tonight, I want to break down a story that you're going to be thinking, what? This real life? Imagine winning the lottery and then saying that the lottery win was the worst thing that ever happened to you in your life. You would think it'd be the direct opposite, right? Well, one woman, she's 21 now, and she was the youngest person ever to win the lottery in Britain, and she won $1.25 million in a jackpot at the age of 17, and now she is saying it was the worst moment of her life, and she's now suing the lottery because, well, it just flat out ruined her life. Let's break it down. First, let's show it. This is the woman in question. All right, her name is Jane Park. She's 21 right now, and she says, at times it feels like winning the lottery has ruined my life. I thought it would be like 10 times better, but it made it like 10 times worse. She moaned to the local paper there. She said, I wish I had no money most days. I say to myself, my life would be so much easier if I hadn't won. She said she's sick of shopping, misses hustling for a paycheck, and has struggled to find a boyfriend who isn't using her for the dough. Wow. You know, most people, they play the lottery in hopes of winning, and I'm pretty sure that when she played, she was hoping to win, and you know, by the grace of God, she won, and it was too much for her. It's too much for her, and now she wants to be just like the average Joe. And let me break it down. You only won 1.25 million. I know that's a lot of money, but after taxes, you know, go to the mall for a couple of weekends. You'll be just like us pretty soon. That's bizarre. That is just, I'm speechless right now because, come on, Jane. You won. You should be happy. She says, it's scary how different my life is from my friends. When they say they're stressed about money, they mean their wages are crap, she said. There's no one in the same boat as me. No one who really understands. I feel like I'm 40 years old. All right. Well, here's what you could do. You could donate the rest of the money to charity. Then you could be just like your friends, and then your friends will be mad at you because you didn't spend it on them. I don't get this story. This is weird. It's not like she won like $200 million or something and her life has totally changed. I get it. She won $1 million, but after taxes, come on, people. Buy a home, buy a car. You're not going to have much left over there. So maybe she didn't spend everything yet and she's hoarding it. And she's wondering why her friends aren't her friends right now. Well, probably because you're not taking them out to dinner. Weird story. Just had to break down some of that action there. When you see some of those stories, you're like, okay, well, we'll continue to scour the news to find some other stories that make you just go, I'm Mike Page. Hope everyone having a great evening, and be happy, because you didn't win the lottery, and you're not like her. You're not miserable. So even though you're fighting for a paycheck, even though you're clawing every week, get that money. Don't worry. You're not stressed, though, because you didn't win the lottery. All right, folks, now we're going to take you to earlier today. Some House Democrats got together, did a press conference about U.S.-Russia sanctions. Take a look.
Introducing a bipartisan legislation to ensure that Russia does not receive any sanctions relief until it earns it. Clearly, there has been some confusion as to exactly what is the status of sanctions that exist with reference to actions that the Russians have taken in Ukraine and that they've taken with respect to hacking into American elections with the intent of having an impact on those elections. All of us were alarmed by Russia's illegal occupation of Crimea and its support for the armed insurgency in Ukraine, along with Russians' brazen interference in last year's U.S. election, which ought to be of concern and is of concern in a bipartisan fashion. These actions have earned Putin and his crony harsh sanctions. No foreign power, especially one so committed to thwarting American aims as Russia, ought to be permitted to meddle in our democracy without repercussions. This bill allows the precedent set by the Iran nuclear agreement, called the JCPOA, by requiring congressional approval for any sanctions relief provided by Russia. It gives Congress the responsibility to review any sanctions relief, to review that relief before it can take effect. This is not a partisan issue, which is why in the Senate it is Senator Graham and Senator Rubio have joined with Senator Cardin and Senator McCaskill in introducing a mirror piece of legislation, exactly the same legislation. And that is why Mr. Rooney, Mr. Kinzinger, and others with whom I have talked, but who are not co-sponsors at this point in time, are carefully considering this action. It's not partisan. Every American, every Republican, every Democrat is concerned about Russia and what they have been doing to violate international law, not to mention the criminal behavior that they may be pursuing and are pursuing, we believe, in Syria. It's a serious matter of national security, which is why both Democrats and Republicans are putting this bill forward. I want to thank all of the co-sponsors on both sides of the aisle for their hard work on this important and timely legislation. At this point, I want to yield to my friend, the gentleman from New York and the ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, Eliot Engel. Eliot?
Thank you. Thank you, Steny. I'm pleased to be here with my colleagues, Mr. Hoyer and Mr. Schiff, to say that what Russia has done and is doing is very alarming, and therefore they should not be allowed to weasel out of sanctions. There's a Russian spy ship floating 30 miles off Groton, Connecticut, where the United States builds nuclear submarines. Russia continues to carry out missile tests over there in defiance of their 30-year-old INF Treaty obligations. It's obvious and clear that Putin is testing the new administration. At the same time, Russia's illegal occupation of Crimea and eastern Ukraine continues, and fighting escalates. The last thing the United States should be considering in the face of this provocation is dialing back sanctions on Russia now. If anything, we should probably increase them. But for now, we need to do all we can to ensure that these measures remain in place so long as Putin's hostile and illegal activities continue. That's what this bill does, and I'm grateful to Whip Hoyer for offering it. It will give Congress a stronger voice on this issue. It will give us a say into whether sanctions on Russia can be lifted. And if you notice, as Steny mentioned to you, we're not playing politics. There's bipartisan support for this bill. We've got Republicans and Democrats saying that they will support this bill. A bipartisan group of senators is offering a similar companion bill. So what this is the bill is about America's security, about dealing with a bully in Vladimir Putin who means us harm. And I hope the House acts quickly to pass this legislation. When historians look back at what happened at this time and discuss who did the right thing, they'll ask who ducked and covered and who stood up to Putin's threats to American democracy. What happened during our last presidential election is shocking and shameful. We cannot and will not tolerate Russian interference in our democratic process. We certainly should not reward Russia for that. And we should, as Democrats and Republicans, be angry no matter who it was that Russia attempted to help. The last thing we want is an undemocratic, adversarial country interfering with American political tradition and American elections. And so we ought to be sending a message now that we're ramping up sanctions. Not that sanctions can be taken away by one person, even the President of the United States. Congress has a very, very important role to play, and that's what we're doing here. So I think the members up here will be remembered for doing the right thing. We're not ducking and covering, and we're not bowing down to Putin's threats to American democracy. We're standing up strong and saying, unless Congress concurs, there can be no lifting of sanctions against Russia. And now, Ranking Member Adam Schiff on the Intelligence Committee.
Elliot, thank you, and I also want to thank Whip Hoyer for all of your leadership on this issue, for bringing together a bipartisan group in the House to match the bipartisan group in the Senate that has introduced the companion legislation. I'm very pleased to be here with my colleagues and announce the introduction of the Bipartisan Russia Sanctions Review Act, which matches that introduced by Senators Graham and Cardin. This act will ensure that the Trump administration cannot unilaterally repeal or lessen sanctions placed on Russia and Putin by the United States in response to their pernicious behavior in Ukraine, as well as their meddling in our elections. I'm dismayed that such a step is even necessary. These sanctions enjoyed bipartisan support when they were put in place by President Obama, and lifting them without a clear change in Russia's behavior would be nothing more than an appeasement of Putin's destabilizing agenda. Not only has Russian behavior not changed, it has intensified. Recent weeks have seen increased violence in eastern Ukraine by Russian-backed separatists, as well as Russia taking its campaign of hacking and leaks to the French elections in support of a far-right Putin-backed candidate. These have occurred with hardly a peep or a tweet from President Trump. The President's fondness for Vladimir Putin is inexplicable, but it does not set U.S. foreign policy alone, and Congress has an important role to play in making clear that we will continue to impose consequences on Russia and its autocratic leader, Vladimir Putin. The introduction and I hope swift passage of this legislation will reassure our allies in Europe that we in Congress will stand with them against the tide of destabilization and autocracy emanating from the Kremlin. Once again, I thank you, Whip Hoyer and my colleague Ellie Engel, for their work on this legislation.
Again, let me emphasize, there should be no difference, and I think there is no difference between parties on the perception that what Russia has done and continues to do is of serious concern to all Americans. This is not an issue on which we have differed in the past, and I do not believe we differ at this point in time. So at this point in time, we'll take any questions that you might have. Yes.
Thank you. Obviously, the Senate bill, but has there been any outreach to the Republican House leadership and any commitment that this bill even move?
The answer is certainly we've talked to Mr. Royce. We've talked to others through our staffs. They have expressed interest. They're not, at this point in time, co-sponsors. I will be talking to Mr. McCarthy about this legislation. I would hope that he could join us. Again, I want to emphasize there should be no difference between Republicans and Democrats on this issue, and in my opinion, there is not a difference on whether or not sanctions ought to be in place, as Mr. Schiff pointed out, when President Obama imposed these sanctions. There was broad-based bipartisan support and no opposition to those. So I'm hopeful that, number one, we will have broad bipartisan support, and number two, as Mr. Engel pointed out, that it will move quickly through the House of Representatives.
Just a follow-up. If it should get to the House floor, do you think that it will pass with a veto-proof majority? And has there been any outreach from the White House or to the White House on this bill? Have they threatened a veto or anything like that?
The White House is not necessarily focused on this matter at this point in time, I think is fair to say. But I would think that if it comes to the floor, as I hope it will do in the near future, that it will enjoy overwhelming support. And I think the answer to your question is, my supposition would be, it would pass with a veto-proof majority. Because I believe Republicans and Democrats share the view that there ought to be no doubt in either Mr. Putin's mind or other Russian leaders' minds that the United States is very serious as it relates to the offenses that these sanctions deal with, including the illegal occupation of Crimea, the illegal activity that they are taking in eastern Ukraine, and clearly the efforts that they took to affect the elections by their cyber attacks and hacking that occurred in the United States. I think both parties are concerned about that, and Republican leaders and Democratic leaders have both indicated how serious they view that activity. Yes. This legislation, as the JCPOA was, which that legislation, you recall, was to give the Congress the authority to oversee and to express its opinion on the adoption of the JCPOA. I believe this legislation is a mirror of that in many respects. Now, with respect to what happened during the course of the campaign and the communications that occurred, my own belief is that we ought to have not only very, very serious committee of the House and the Senate oversight hearings on that, get to the bottom of that. Mr. Schiff has been a strong proponent and leader in that effort. The Intel Committee is undertaking investigation. I hope that investigation is a very serious, in-depth investigation so that we can get to the bottom of what in fact happened. This is dangerous for our country, not just for Republicans or Democrats. It's dangerous for our country. And it is important to know whether or not the Russians believe they have some agreement or some way to influence the administration, which would not be healthy for our democracy or for our country.
So can I just,
yeah.
If I could just add on to that, those allegations that there may have been collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia are at the heart of what we need to investigate in the House Intelligence Committee, and we're certainly determined to do so. I will say this, I think the recent revelation of Flynn's secret conversation with the Russian ambassador on the subject of sanctions makes this legislation all the more important. If there were either condoned discussions that Flynn had, or he was acting as a free agent, in either scenario, this president should not have the unfettered capability of eliminating Russian sanctions. There are just too many problematic issues concerning this administration in Russia. I haven't read the transcripts yet. I hope that we obtain them soon so that we can review them. But if the public reports are accurate, it only underscores the necessity of this kind of legislation.
I agree with Mr. Schiff, and that's why I made the point that we want to have no doubt as to where we stand with respect to these sanctions and our intention and conviction that we will assure that there will be a vigorous response to the malfeasance, to the criminal behavior of Russia and its leaders. Yes.
This question is for Ranking Member Schiff. Yesterday you said that your committee would be seeking transcripts and/or a tape recording of Flynn's conversation with the Russian ambassador. And I was wondering, is it your understanding that that was intercepted because of an FBI probe, or was that part of an intelligence community surveillance program?
That's not something I'm able to comment on. I know there have been a lot of public discussions about what routine surveillance may encompass, but that's not something that I'm in a position to comment on.
Can you comment on who are you asking for transcripts? Or from the agency?
Well, we know from the public reports that the Justice Department has possession of evidence that Flynn did discuss the sanctions issue with the Russian ambassador, whether that is in the form of a transcript of an intercepted communication or taped communications. Sean Spicer said there were also text communications between Flynn and the Russian ambassador.
All right, folks, we are going to Los Angeles right now. This is a motorcycle police chase happening now. You're watching live right now on the Fox 10 and News Now stream. We haven't seen too many of these before, so let's see how this all comes about. He's having a little trouble. Oh boy, he's stuck right there. Let's see. So we're watching live here, folks. Viewer discretion is advised. We don't know what the suspect's going to do. This is happening in LA, and he's really having a trouble here. All right, so he's having a lot of trouble. He's probably going to have to get off that bike and ditch it. There's no way. Yeah, he's going. This was like when you were 6 on training wheels. Oh yeah, totally ditched it. Yeah, he couldn't do it in the rocks. He couldn't do it in the regular pavement. Oh no, he's going to try to get in a car here. In a home now. Oh boy, this is not good. So let's pray for those homeowners there. Okay, so now he's out of the home. He is continuing to run here. He's going to try to hop this fence. First he wanted to... We're continuing to watch here. Thanks so much, folks, for joining us live here on the Fox 10 and News Now stream. We don't know why the suspect is running. We don't know if that motorcycle was stolen. Moments ago, he just ditched the motorcycle. He's going to pretty much stop here, not to... Oh, it just ditched some paraphernalia right there. Thanks so much for joining us live, everyone. Mary Kate is joining me right now for some coverage. And Mary Kate, just moments ago, he was on a motorcycle, but not doing so well on that motorcycle, and then ditched it.
Wow.
And now he is on the run right here. We haven't seen the police, though, in this shot yet, but we know they're around. But we just saw him moments ago drop something from his shorts. It could be drugs. It could be, okay.
Oh, he's climbing the fence here.
Okay, he has the fence. He's continuing to run.
Who's this guy on
We
the
don't
right?
know. He might be telling him, hey, bro, you don't have a good shot at this. But he's going to continue to...
So he was on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Got off the motorcycle. This is still a police pursuit we're seeing right now.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, here we go. Viewer discretion advised, everyone. We just can't see from this vantage point. He's under that viaduct right there. And we have skateboarders all around. More police coming to the scene. We told you they were right around here. And just Unfortunate right now we're in an area that we can't really get a good visual on.
But the kids that are skateboarding are, oh, see, you see the cell phones are getting pulled out. People are taking videos of
Yep,
this.
that's true. They're snapping it right now. Thanks so much for joining us live here, everyone. Where did he go? Where is he?
I believe he's still, he must be directly under that where we can't see him, right?
Yeah, but you would think that the police would be trying to drag him out by now.
Yeah, let's see what's
I
going on
just can't
here.
get a good
Okay, it looks like his hands are up.
What is that tinfoil there?
No.
I don't even see
It
him.
looked like I saw his hands up, but I don't even see him now, actually. I might have... Oh, there he is. Okay, handcuffed there.
Okay, police got him. Police got him. You know, we came onto the scene and he was having a hard time with the motorcycle and decided to ditch it, then went in a home, then went back out of it.
Wow. You got to be careful too when you're trying to get away from police and you're on a motorcycle. Looks like he wasn't wearing a helmet.
No, yeah. And you know what? It was probably for the best that he wasn't getting far on that motorcycle because he could not operate it at all.
So he could have injured many people.
Yeah, he was going to crash big time.
Now, I know this just came into at the last second. Do we know where this is right now? Do we know...
Somewhere near LA.
Okay.
That's the latest that we got there.
These chases always seem to happen around the LA area, I gotta tell you. But it looks like they do have him in custody now, so that's good to hear that no one got hurt.
Yeah, very scary.
Gotta give it up to these police officers that are always out there chasing these guys down. They have no idea if there are any weapons on these guys.
That's true.
Now, are they gonna look for what he threw out of his
pocket? They will most likely go right back and review that tape and see where he dumped the
they might be
paraphernalia
doing that.
out.
Yeah, it looked like they were pouring it.
Yes. Yeah, because it was all caught on camera here.
I mean, look at this. What is this area right here? All this junk
I
lying
know.
around. It's going to be kind of hard to find.
There's a lot of junk there. Boy.
You know, these chases always end so differently. You know, some run, some put their hands up, but
yes.
You know, all we want is just, you know, hopefully no one gets hurt.
Yeah, very peaceful end we're hoping for always, always. And folks, if you're just joining us live here, the man was on a motorcycle. He couldn't operate it and decided to ditch it. Then went inside a home. And fortunately, he got out of the home. I'm so glad that the homeowners weren't injured there. And then continued on his way. And then he went up a viaduct and, well, that's where the story ended there.
Oh, it gives me so much anxiety when you see them get out of their vehicle
I
and start
know.
running. You just don't know what they're going to do. But again, got to get up to these officers who have to literally chase after them, get out of their car and start running after these guys. They have no idea if they have a weapon or not.
Yep.
So very brave guys out there doing this for us today. And you know those skateboarders were out there thinking, wait, what's going on here?
Yes. Yeah, skateboarders were just trying to have a good time, and they're caught up in all the action as well.
Yeah, luckily they sort of stayed back, stayed out of it, although we did see some people take out their cell phones to get it on video. That's sort of the culture we live in now.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll see that posted on social media later this evening.
And it looks like the police are going to go and try and track down that paraphernalia that the suspect dropped and that was caught on camera. So it'll just be a matter of time before they find it. But it looks like it was right in this area.
I guess all they need to do is bring out a couple dogs, and it'll take
no
time at all to find it. So we'll see.
See, right now they're they're looking, but they're looking in the wrong area right now.
Really? Oh, so
Yeah.
was it up there? More
Yeah, I
up
was
towards
up
the street.
Yeah. So now the neighborhood's coming out. They're snapping, they're Instagramming, and they're watching as the suspect is being taken into a car.
It's embarrassing enough, when you're getting taken into a police car, but now, we live in this society
Yeah.
where people are out on the sidewalks and your face is going to be posted all over social media. So I guess that's just the way it goes, but luckily no one was hurt, so that's good news.
Yeah, that's good news. The homeowners weren't, and now they're patting him down to make sure he doesn't have anything else on him, anything that could poke or hurt the officers. If you remember when you'd be watching the show Cops on TV, when they'd always be patting down the suspects, they'd always ask them right before they pat them down that, you don't have anything that's going to poke me, do you?
I know. When you said that, I realized that's exactly what they say.
Yes.
Is you're not going to have anything that's going to hurt or poke me, right?
Cops was, well, it still is a great show.
It's a great show, but that's interesting that they say those exact words. You're not going to have anything that's going to hurt or poke me. Yeah, I mean, I guess you might as well ask before you pat him down, just so you can say, hey,
I'd
you
want to
guys,
know.
I asked.
Yeah, I'd want to know. I wouldn't want to get in the bonus round and find out that.
Yeah, the bonus round of finding another weapon on the suspect.
Oh yeah.
I wonder what he threw out of his pocket. Possibly drugs or something he stole. Again, we don't really know right now why he was being chased, but we do know he was on a motorcycle being pursued by police, and then he got off of the motorcycle and started running.
Yep.
He wasn't wearing a helmet from what I saw when I joined you here, Mike, but when people ride without their helmets, sometimes that gives me anxiety too. I think you better be really good at riding that bike without a helmet there.
That is
Obviously.
something. So now community members are all coming out. They're wondering, okay, what exactly happened here, and will this be on the news? And if they know us here in Arizona, you're already on the news.
We stream chases from all over the U.S., so...
And they always seem to happen. I'd say about 88% of them in L.A.
In L.A., isn't that strange? Yeah, and we stream them maybe once every few weeks, week or so. I mean, we had, 3 last week?
Yeah, we had 3, yep. So you never know when you're going to get them. That's why I always tell viewers, you really can't go away from the stream. Stay on it. We stream Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Subscribe if you haven't already done so.
Yeah, or like on our Facebook page, Fox 10 Phoenix, because then you'll get an alert whenever these
That's
chases
what
happen.
we like. We like to get the alert.
Yeah, you get an alert, or if you're just scrolling through YouTube trying to think of something to watch, check us out, subscribe to us. We're always streaming these chases as soon as we get them.
And even on my days off, when you get a push alert that we're going live on Facebook, I want to see what it is.
I know.
It's addicting.
Because we only go live on Facebook if it's something really big. Because we don't want to send alerts out to people if it's no big deal. So
Yeah, like a cat stuck. We won't do that.
Yeah, but we will definitely stream it live if it's a big chase or any sort of political breaking news. We're always streaming it. So
Yes.
that's why it's always good to like us on Facebook.
You know, we never do the follow-up, though, of what happens to these suspects. You know, we never find out. I would like to know that sometimes. You know, what exactly was the suspect charged with? And
Yeah, I think they all get different charges because some run into other cars, damage other cars, some injure people, some pull out weapons, others get out, they don't make any fuss, and they cooperate with police. So I assume that their charges are probably different depending on what happens during the chase, right? I mean, let's say they obeyed traffic laws and they didn't hurt anybody. Maybe they'll get a lesser sentence than somebody who runs red lights. Because you know the ones that we cover, Mike, where they're running through the intersections?
Yes. Oh, and that's when you got to think, you feel bad for all those innocent people out there.
To think that we could be on the road and we're by someone who's being chased. Because it's hard to tell when you're driving that you could be next to someone being chased by police.
I know.
Because they like to stay far back for a while. Police, so that they don't
I
throw
know.
a fuss around, traffic.
And doing these streams so much now, it's gotten to the point now when I'm driving and I look over at someone, I'm like, ooh, are they being chased?
Right, because we do them all the time.
Yeah.
And it's actually hard to tell when you're on the ground. Next thing you have someone speeding by you, and then you hear police, and okay, that's when it's good to pull over.
Yes. All right. Well, it looks like the chopper is leaving the scene there. So if we get any news that comes from this situation, we'll pass it along to you. But thanks so much for joining us live here on Facebook Live. The stream continues on fox10phoenix.com. And folks, take a look at that sunset there in California. Beautiful.
And clearly the efforts that they took to affect the elections by their cyber attacks and hacking that occurred in the United States. I think both parties are concerned about that, and Republican leaders and Democratic leaders have both indicated how serious they view that activity. Yes. This legislation's, as the JCPOA was, which that legislation, you recall, was to give the Congress the authority to oversee and to express its opinion on the adoption of the JCPOA. I believe this legislation is a mirror of that in many respects. Now, with respect to what happened during the course of the campaign and the communications that occurred, my own belief is that we ought to have not only very, very serious committee of the House and the Senate oversight hearings on that, get to the bottom of that. Mr. Schiff has been a strong proponent and leader in that effort. The Intel Committee is undertaking investigation. I hope that investigation is a very serious, in-depth investigation so that we can get to the bottom of what in fact happened. This is dangerous for our country, not just for Republicans or Democrats. It's dangerous for our country. And it is important to know whether or not the Russians believe they have some agreement or some way to influence the administration, which would not be healthy for our democracy or for our country.
So can I just,
yeah.
If I could just add on to that, those allegations that there may have been collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia are at the heart of what we need to investigate in the House Intelligence Committee, and we're certainly determined to do so. I will say this, I think the recent revelation of Flynn's secret conversation with the Russian ambassador on the subject of sanctions makes this legislation all the more important. If there were either condoned discussions that Flynn had, or he was acting as a free agent, in either scenario, this president should not have the unfettered capability of eliminating Russian sanctions. There are just too many problematic issues concerning this administration in Russia. I haven't read the transcripts yet. I hope that we obtain them soon so that we can review them. But if the public reports are accurate, it only underscores the necessity of this kind of legislation.
I agree with Mr. Schiff, and that's why I made the point that We want to have no doubt as to where we stand with respect to these sanctions and our intention and conviction that we will assure that there will be a vigorous response to the malfeasance, to the criminal behavior of Russia and its leaders. Yes.
This question is for Ranking Member Schiff. Yesterday you said that your committee would be seeking transcripts and/or a tape recording of Flynn's conversation with the Russian ambassador. And I was wondering, is it your understanding that that was intercepted because of an FBI probe, or was that part of an intelligence community surveillance program?
That's not something I'm able to comment on. I know there have been a lot of public discussions about what routine surveillance may encompass, but that's not something that I'm in a position to comment on.
Can you comment on where you would be, who are you asking for the transcripts, or from the agency?
Well, we know from the public reports that the Justice Department has possession of evidence that Flynn did discuss the sanctions issue with the Russian ambassador, whether that is in the form of a transcript of an intercepted communication or taped communications. Sean Spicer said there were also text communications between Flynn and the Russian ambassador. I believe that our committee ought to receive any communications Flynn had with the Russian ambassador in whatever platform was used, whether it was by voice or text or any other means. We don't have those materials yet. We will be seeking those materials, and I think it'll be a necessary part of our oversight. But at this point, I can't tell you whether they were gathered as a part of incidental collection or whether they were gathered as a part of FISA court order or other process. That's just not something I can comment on.
I want to emphasize this is a bipartisan legislation because I believe there is a consensus on assuring that the Russians have no confusion as to the commitment of this country to continue to sanction behavior which we believe to be both illegal and dangerous to the interests of the United States of America. What has happened with the NSC advisor, either during the course of his short tenure as NSC leader or prior to that, while I agree wholly with Mr. Schiff saying this legislation is even more important because of that, but it is important to give clarity to the position of the United States of America for not only the Russians but others as well. Back there. I'll go to the back and then I'll come up front.
Congressman, you're introducing this bill right after the president started tweeting and talking more strong terms about Crimea and Russia having taken it and leaving it at that. I'm wondering if that changes things or complicates getting more support for this. And also, if it's a bipartisan bill, I'm seeing 3 Democrats introducing it. Where is your Republican colleagues?
I don't know the answer to that because both Mr. Kinzinger and Mr. Mooney said they were going to be here, and but I knew they had committees, so maybe they're tied up in committee. But if you go and see the bill introduced today, their names are on it.
But on the other point, though, this is coming right after the president.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's coming after the president's recognition of this as a significant problem, which should make it even more bipartisan, should make it even less likely that a Republican would think in some way this was contrary to some political stance that the administration has taken. So we're hopeful that that will expand it. Let me yield to Mr. Engel.
There are a couple of phases here. First of all, I think it's very important to mention once again that we are a co-equal branch of government, and that there are checks and balances, and it's very important that the legislative branch show its priorities. This isn't something where the executive just decides and that we just sit and accept it. So I think that principle is very, very important. Secondly, I think anybody knows that this was some hanky-panky going on during the presidential election with Russian hacking of the DNC and heaven only knows where else. That should concern all Americans. I would be just as concerned if the shoe was on the other foot and it was the RNC that was hacked and the things were made public, because that is a direct threat to our democracy. And finally, there certainly seems to have been, or still is, a cozy relationship between the president, the administration, and the Russians. That's very, very disconcerting. When you look at the behavior of the Russians when the Soviet Union collapsed in the 1990s and NATO expanded and the European Union expanded, and the United States was an integral part of that. And suddenly now we heard the president, when he was running for office, sort of belittle it, call NATO outdated. And that's, to the delight, I'm sure, of Putin and the Russians. Putin has come in acting every bit the KGB boss that he used to be, and will do anything, it seems, to subvert American democracy or weaken the Western alliance. And so because of that, and because of purported connections between the president and the Russians, I think it's even more important that Congress gets involved and Congress stays there and keeps it bipartisan, because this is a potential threat to our democracy. It goes way beyond Democratic or Republican politics.
Adam Schiff?
I just can't resist one observation on that question, and forgive me if I'm one tweet behind. But the tweet I saw this morning from the president blamed Obama for Russia's invasion of Crimea. Only Donald Trump could blame Obama and not Putin for Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea. That's hardly being tough on Russia and Putin, in my view.
I was responding to your premise that Trump was now saying that the taking of Crimea was wrong. And I'm not aware of the tweet where he blames President Obama, which is unfathomable that assertion would be made.
Thank you. I have two quick questions. The first for you, Mr. Hoyer. This morning on MSNBC, Speaker Ryan seemed to suggest that he was asked about sanctions on Russia, and he said he would support codifying those sanctions in response to actions by the White House to lift them, which seems to be philosophically a different position than what you guys are taking here, as opposed to, you seem to want to act preemptively to get congressional approval to require the lifting of sanctions. And Speaker Ryan this morning said that, he thought Congress should act to codify sanctions.
I don't think those are contradictory. In fact, this legislation would affirm those sanctions and then say those sanctions could not be repealed unless Congress had a time frame in which to do that, 120 days, and a fast-track procedure, in effect, was similar to the JCPOA. So I don't see those positions as contradictory, if in fact I haven't seen the Speaker's comments this morning, but if the Speaker said that they ought to be codified, frankly, that he's supportive of the sanctions. This legislation is supportive of the sanctions, and not only that, says the sanctions cannot be unilaterally. Mr. Elliott, Mr. Engel mentioned that we're co-equal branches of government. Frankly, sanctions in the past on Russia or Iran or others have been in many respects done through the procedure considered by committees and adopted by the Congress of the United States. So I don't see this. I don't know whether either one of you want to comment. I don't see his comments, to the extent that you characterize them, as contradictory to the legislation. Deidre?
All right, folks, welcome to the Fox 10 News Now stream. Mary Kate is coming up next. She'll be with you for the next 2 hours here on the News Now stream. Hope everyone's having a great and beautiful evening. Here's a great shot of our glorious White House.
All right, everybody. Well, hello and welcome to the Fox News Now stream. I am your host, Mary Kay Gaffney. Thanks for joining me tonight. We're going to be covering a lot of top stories for you. First up, let's fix this camera here so we can actually see each other. I think the chair's fine. I'm just a little short, but that's okay. We have a great show planned for you guys tonight. And of course, if any breaking news comes in, we're going to take you to that right away. Just a few moments ago, we were streaming for you a police pursuit. A guy on a motorcycle was being chased by police, and then he actually got off of the motorcycle and began running away from police. So we never know what we're going to get here on the stream, and that was, I think, outside of Los Angeles. So even though we're based here in Phoenix, we stream events from all over the U.S., and that's my favorite part about that. I want to take you to a top story that's still in the news right now. As you know, we streamed for you last week President Trump's travel ban being discussed by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And it was sort of a conference call, the three judges on the call. If you missed it, we have it clipped on our YouTube page, so you can just head there and listen to it if you want. But they did decide to keep a hold on this travel ban that President Trump put in place. So right now the ban is on hold. So what happens going forward? Well, he has a few choices. They have about a week to decide about what to do with this travel ban. But I actually had a legal expert in the studio with me earlier today to sort of break down what this means and if the travel ban can really go through or not. So I'm going to play that for you guys here. Let me put up the new lower third. Let me make sure that that's right. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to take you this video. I spoke with the legal expert earlier today. Let me know what you guys think. All right, you guys. Well, last week, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals decided to put a hold, or really a halt, on the travel ban that President Trump put into an executive order. Here with me now is James Goodnow, political analyst, to sort of break this down for us and what this all means going forward. So what do you know for now?
Well, right now we know that President Trump's travel ban is on hold, and we know that really we're going back to the way things were before he issued this order at the end of January, in fact, back to where it was in the Obama administration. We know that the Ninth Circuit has weighed in and said, we think we've got some real problems here. We're going to hit the pause button and say you can't move forward with this until we duke it out on the merits, and that would happen back in the state of Washington.
So as of now, the travel ban doesn't really exist. People can come in and out of the U.S. as they please right now, right?
Exactly right.
So what they want from President Trump essentially is to either rework the executive order, or I guess they're going to court?
Very possible. So we know after the Ninth Circuit issued its ruling, Donald Trump tweeted out in all caps, "See you in court." Now, the takeaway from that as a lawyer was, okay, Donald Trump is going to appeal this to the U.S. Supreme Court. This would be done, of course, through the Justice Department. Attorney General Jeff Sessions would make that determination, and they would file paperwork. They have 14 days to do it from the date of the decision, so we have about another week for that. And then at that point, that paperwork would go to Justice Kennedy, who's the representative for the Ninth Circuit, who would then probably refer it to the broader court for a determination of whether or not the justices want to hear this case.
Okay.
But there is a way to sidestep this, and that would be for Donald Trump really just to say, you know what, I don't want to go through this appeals process. I don't want to have to go to the U.S. Supreme Court. I'm going to rescind my executive order and issue a new one that takes all of those issues that were flagged as problems by the Ninth Circuit and fixes them.
And I know that they were saying, you know, the reason is that it's unconstitutional, meaning that the First Amendment says you can't deny people from coming in the United States based on their religion. But isn't it, he's saying that this has nothing to do with religion, that I picked these 7 places based on terrorist acts that have happened there, but they say he has no proof of any sort of terrorism coming in or out of these 7 countries. So does he have to sort of find proof of terrorist acts coming out of these countries to prove his point if he didn't want to rework the executive order.
Yeah, so if we go forward with this particular case, that's exactly right. The judges in the Ninth Circuit said, Donald Trump, you're saying there's a safety connection here, but you haven't offered a single piece of evidence that demonstrates this. You point to the Obama administration saying these are 7 countries of concern, but where's the beef? Where's the proof that we're actually safer because of this? Really big problems there for him. But the bigger problem is the constitutional concern that you raised. Under the First Amendment, these judges believe that by giving a preference to a certain religion, that is a violation of the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment, meaning we are essentially saying that we do have a state religion. That's the concern. And in the executive order, there is a preference for those who are of minority faiths coming from these countries, which in most cases would be Christians. And of course, we know that Donald Trump on the campaign trail was talking about giving preferential treatment to Christians, and he was talking about banning Muslims. That sort of language is a real problem for Donald Trump. And the judges, in fact, went back and said, Donald, you're telling us this isn't about religion, yet we have all of these instances of you saying it on the campaign trail, and we have one of your senior advisors in Rudy Giuliani also saying that he helped rework this so it's not a Muslim ban, but it's neutral on its face and its language. That's a big problem for President Trump.
And what if he said, okay, just anyone that has a green card can come in? Would they be happy with that? Or is that, again, still sort of based on religion?
Yes, so if he clarified the issue of green cards, that would help a lot. We do know that there's ambiguity in this executive order. We know that the White House came out and tried to clean that up. And in fact, the lawyer said, this isn't an issue anymore. We've had the White House counsel who said, no, those with green cards are okay. But the judges said, that's not how the law works. You can't have one of your representatives interpret an executive order. We interpret the executive order, and when we look at the plain language of it, we see ambiguity, we see problems with these green card immigrants, and that is a big challenge for Donald Trump.
And what about the people that just have family members here in the U.S., but they don't have a green card and they don't have a visa? Do they have any rights to connect with their family? I guess now they can, right?
That's right.
Since the travel ban's, on hold. But let's say the travel ban was in effect right now. Do they have any rights since they have family members here in the U.S.?
They do. So if you're personally affected by this travel ban, you have what's called standing. You've been harmed. You have the right to go into court and to say what President Trump has done has harmed me. The real challenging situation, though, came when the state of Washington brought this claim. And initially, there were concerns that a state may not have the ability to say, we've been harmed. Now, the state of Washington came back and said, no, we have been. If you look at our university systems, we're losing students, we're losing faculty. If you look at our tax revenue, we're losing that as well. Ultimately, the Ninth Circuit judges agreed, yes, you have proven a concrete harm, state of Washington, therefore you can bring this claim.
Okay. And it's not like what maybe some of our viewers might think, that the president can do anything he wants. He still has to follow within the guidelines of the Constitution. So that's why the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals is able to say, no, if you violate the Constitution, we can put a hold on whatever decision that you're making. So my question is, I guess, going forward, can the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, if he doesn't rework this, win in court, if he doesn't rework the executive order?
Well, it really is an open question. We don't know the answer to that. We do know, though, that the critical question is the one you raised. What is the scope of presidential powers here? How far can Donald Trump go? We know that the Trump administration, through the Justice Department, came in and argued, we really have an ability to make any decisions without being checked when it comes to immigration and national security. Now, Washington and the Ninth Circuit came back and said, no. You have broad authority, but that authority is subject to the Constitution. You cannot make an order that violates the Constitution. We're the body that makes the determination of whether or not you've done that. We have 3 equal separate branches of government. And the Trump administration was really trying to sidestep this. So the most fascinating issue here is the scope of President Trump's powers. I think we're going to see a lot more fighting about this in the future.
And as you said earlier, he did tweet in all caps, "See you in court," so I'm assuming we might see them
go to court.
That's true.
And this isn't the only issue. He's very busy. Obviously, his national security advisor, Michael Flynn, has just resigned. So what can you tell me about that? What's going to happen now without any national security advisor at the moment?
Well, the first question is, what's going to happen to Michael Flynn? Now, we know that there are several laws that may have been violated here. One is a law called the Logan Act that actually goes back to 1799. This is a law that says private citizens can't engage in diplomacy. As a private citizen, you can't go cut a peace deal with another country. And here the problem, of course, for General Flynn is that on December 29th of last year, he had 5 phone calls with a Russian ambassador, and those phone calls we now know were about sanctions. So on its face, it does appear that we had a violation of the Logan Act because at the time General Flynn was a private citizen. He had not assumed any role in the Trump administration. The real question, though, is will this law be enforced? And that will turn on first the FBI and FBI Director Jim Comey, and then that will go ultimately to the Attorney General Jeff Sessions to make this determination. Of course, the problem from Democrats' perspective is that Jeff Sessions and General Flynn were on the campaign trail together.
Right, they're basically best buds, right?
These were buddies. So you hear right now Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer saying, we need a special counsel to investigate this. You have a conflict of interest. So there's a lot of intrigue here. And there are other laws that may be in place, too, in terms of false statements that were made. We know that General Flynn, what really took him down is the false statement he made to Vice President Pence. And that itself would be a crime under this federal law. But again, that comes to Jeff Sessions to make that determination. So I think we need to see how this story develops. And I think if there's enough pressure on the Attorney General Jeff Sessions, he may in fact appoint a special counsel to investigate this.
Well, what do you think? I mean, Mike Pence was lied to. Do you think that Pence and President Trump would pressure Jeff Sessions to get a different counsel, that they wouldn't want Michael Flynn to get off for this, since he kind of humiliated Pence? Pence went on all these national networks and said, no, Michael Flynn hasn't been talking to anybody.
Really tough to say, though, but if I'm the Trump administration, I probably want this to go away. Because the more eyes that are on this, the more testimony you have, and the more we may see Pandora's box open up here. So already today we know there are questions about what communications Flynn or Paul Manafort had with Russia during the campaign. So as you go deeper into this, I'm sure there's a concern that more may open up. Now, that may be good for the Trump administration. It may exonerate them. There's a lot of speculation and innuendo right now. And perhaps Donald Trump will say, let's get all the facts on the table. But right now, this is a very fluid situation, and I'm sure there's some concern about this. Jeff Sessions is supposed to make an independent determination. Donald Trump can't order him to do anything. That really is the independence of this particular Attorney General position. But we do know that Democrats, at least, are saying at this point, and some Republicans, that we have concerns about this. We need to get an independent voice on this.
Oh, there's just a lot going on here.
No kidding.
And back to the Ninth Circuit real quick. So what did you say we can expect going forward? You said there's a week before they have to decide whether or not to appeal it.
Exactly. We're at the crossroads right now. The Department of Justice needs to decide, one, do we appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court? And if we do that, what do we write in our paperwork? Or the Trump administration can come in and say, we're not going to worry about that appeal because I'm going to rewrite this order. I don't know if they have an answer to this yet, and I bet a lot of people are working on this to make a recommendation both to President Trump and to the DOJ.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. James Goodnow, thank you for joining me. And where can people find you on social media?
You can learn more about some of the commentary that I do on jamesgoodnow.com or facebook.com/jamesgoodnow.
And if you guys want more information on this story, just head to fox10phoenix.com.
All right, you guys, back on the air here. Just wanted to bring you to that segment. Again, that was a legal expert, James Goodnow. Had him in the studio a little bit earlier this morning. Just had a chat with him. He was great. He had a lot of great advice, very unbiased, factual advice about what the president can really do. And again, I think that, I know a lot of you were probably thinking, is it possible that that judges can decide against something that the president wants to do. And it was interesting that he said, if the president is going against the laws of the Constitution, he can get a hold on an executive order. So I guess we'll see going forward. The two options he has is to see them in court and fight this, or to rework the executive order, take out the parts that the judges didn't like, you know, the parts that were unconstitutional, and rework it, and then resend it. So we will see what happens going forward. But as you know, President Trump, let's pull up the tweet. President Trump tweeted this after the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals had that conference call discussing it, and then they let their decision out saying, no, we're going to keep a hold on this travel ban. Let's find the tweet. He tweets so much, you have to scroll so far down. Let's see the tweet. I mean, we talked about this during the interview. You guys heard it, but I just want to pull this up. Here it is. All right. So right after the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals made the decision to keep the hold on President Trump's travel ban, meaning it's not in force right now. People can still come in and out of the U.S. This is what he tweeted. He said, "See you in court. The security of our nation is at stake." And he doesn't always tweet in all caps, you guys. He only tweets in all caps when he's very angry, very serious about this. So that's what he said after the decision was made to put a hold on his ban. And can you believe it? I mean, think about it. As a president, it must be very frustrating and embarrassing to put in place an executive order that you feel very passionate about and you believe is going to help the United States, and then to have people, I don't want to say necessarily below him, but you know, he's the president, but people, judges, are saying, nope, you can't do that, and they have the power to put a hold on the ban because it doesn't follow within the Constitution. And that, I think, is what made him so mad, as he came up with this executive order, and maybe he didn't realize that not everything he wants to do can go through. But as we showed you that tweet, he said, "See you in court." So will he rewrite that executive order, or will he take them to court? I mean, I'm assuming he's going to take them to court, since that's what he said on Twitter. So we'll see, you guys. But anything we can stream, we will certainly stream it for you here on Fox News Now. You know that's what we do. Wouldn't that be an interesting court show to stream for you guys? Not like your typical Judge Judy show. This would be serious stuff. Not that Judge Judy isn't serious. That's a great show too. All right, let's take you to the next top story here. Appreciate you watching with me live here on the Fox News Now stream. Also appreciate your comments in the live chat below the video, and of course on Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook page during the show. Love to read what you guys have to say. Some of you tweet me at Mary Kate Fox 10, my Twitter account, which I love because then I can pull your comments up here during the show and share what you have to say. If you don't want me to share your tweet, no worries. I won't put it on the air, but most of you that tweet me know that I like to put your tweets on the air here. So I love showing other people's opinions here on the show. Just no curse words, because then we can't air it. We got to keep it PG. You never know who's watching. Kids are up late watching on their computer. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm rambling now. Let's take you to the next story. Moving away from politics for a second here and just taking you to something that I thought was pretty crazy. Let me change the lower third so you guys know that we are discussing top stories. All right. Oh, and let me make sure this is, okay, perfect. So, this is something that was near and dear to my heart because I love ice cream. Starbucks is releasing ice cream treats very soon. Now, is this something that you would buy? Would you go to Starbucks and get ice cream? I don't know. I think when you go to Starbucks, you know you're going to get coffee. And it depends, too. Do you like coffee-flavored ice cream? Maybe some of you don't. I love mocha chocolate chip ice cream. It's the best. But maybe some of you wouldn't want Starbucks ice cream. Let me know in the chat. Hard-hitting news story here, I know, but we were talking about this earlier this morning, that Starbucks is coming out with some new ice cream treats. So let's hear what this is all about.
Well, Starbucks is about to get even cooler. The coffee company is about to add ice cream to its menu. Starting this week, it will roll out ice cream coffee drinks at more than 100 stores nationwide. The drinks include affogatos. I never know if I say that right.
Just go with it. Say it with gusto.
Hot espresso poured over ice cream. It's kind of like a, what do you call it? Like a
hot fudge sundae?
No.
Oh.
Like a root beer float, but with coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Also, cold brew malts and floats start. Okay, the price though, they start around $6.
That's where they start.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like Phoenix will be included in the 100 stores.
Right, of course. Why would we want anything ice cream
Right,
when it's 117?
because, you know, our temps wouldn't warrant that. Anyways, if the treats are a success, then we could see more locations add to the list, but not us right now.
Hi, Beth.
Hi, Beth.
Hi, good morning.
That does sound interesting.
I think you were trying to think of affogato. It's the cold over the hot, hot liquid over cold ice
Yes.
cream. Have you ever had an affogato?
Yes. Well,
Yes.
I didn't know if I said it.
Italian type of
Yeah,
drink.
I never know if I say it right. Affogato, that's what it is. Yeah,
Is it
like
good?
espresso over cold ice cream.
You know, another one you can have is an affogato made with scotch over ice cream with a little coffee.
Do you heat the
Leave
scotch?
it to me to know that one.
Like in a
well, you
snifter
drink
or
it with your
something?
ice cream. No, you pour it right over the ice cream with some coffee and scotch and ice cream. It's tasty.
Wasn't the cherries
And mind-blowing.
Jubilee or whatever they call it? That's made with like brandy or
Yeah,
something.
so you set fire to that.
One of Chris's grandma makes brandy ice like around the holidays, and it's like brandy and ice cream, like vanilla ice cream. She kind of mixes it and then puts it in almost like a loaf pan, and then you scoop it out again. And you serve it in like little wine glasses. It's a delicious dessert.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds tasty.
It's really good.
Yeah, my grandma Nini used to like grasshoppers made with ice cream. So my dad would make that for her with, you know, creme de menthe and yeah, I guess it's grandma's way of getting a buzz. If you put ice cream in it, it's okay.
Yeah, it's just ice cream, dear.
I guess.
Don't worry. Everything's fine.
Exactly.
Thank
All right,
you, Beth.
kids.
We'll see you in a bit.
Sure.
Have
All
a great
right.
Wednesday so far.
Okay,
See you in a little
bye-bye.
bit.
Thanks.
So what do you guys think about that? Thought it looked pretty good. I think that it's cool that they're gonna implement some different changes there. I mean, you already kind of see some things that are different. They offer lunch wraps there now and yogurts and stuff that you can pick up besides just, you know, the desserts. They actually offer, you know, some things you can kind of pick up real quick for lunch. And I do want to pull up a tweet here. Oops. Let me pull this up. Because I did ask you guys, I love to get your opinions on any and all stories that we discuss here. And I did get one tweet, so I do want to at least show this. This coming from James. Pull this down here really quickly. Here, let's do this. James tweeted me, I would buy Starbucks ice cream if it were like Dairy Queen cones, only coffee flavored. Big fluffy cones, yum. Yeah, Dairy Queen has the best. I think it's because it's the soft serve, and then they just overload it with sprinkles. But yes, very good point. Thank you for tweeting me, James. All right, you guys. Yeah, if you have any comments during the show, feel free to tweet me at MaryKateFox10. I will put your tweet up here on the show. Hopefully get you guys some more followers, right? Okay, let's take you to the next top story here that I wanted to show you guys. Appreciate you watching with me live here on Fox News Now. And of course, if we get any breaking news, I will take you there. You can see feeds are behind me. I'm always checking them, so don't worry. We won't miss anything. If we get another chase or something like that, I'll be sure to take you there. This one I want to take you guys to products of the year. What are the hottest products of the year to buy, or have you not bought them yet? We already talked about the iPhone 8 and its price last night, $1,000 for the new iPhone 8. But there's some other products. There's a few out there that I want to show you guys. These are the products of the year. So let's take you to this segment, and you guys can let me know what you think.
Here we are.
Yeah, we're only about a month and a half into the new year, and several products have already been named the best of 2017.
They got a fast start.
They did.
Voted on by 40,000 consumers, and our consumer reporter, Steve Noviello, is live in Dallas. All right, Steve, so these are fast starters. What do we have?
Yeah, this way you get to enjoy them all year long. We've got plenty of time. So the neat thing about this organization is 40,000 consumers are the ones who vote on this. This is the world's largest consumer-voted product recognition organization. So this is some great feedback from folks. So 28 products in all have been named. I'm going to point out just a few of them this morning, starting with this right here from Rain-X. This is their Latitude Water Repellency Windshield Wiper Blades. Consumers say they liked it because it's a 2-in-1 product. So first up, it's a windshield wiper, right? So that works. But as it wipes your windshield, it also applies a coating of Rain-X. So even though you might not be using the windshield wipers when they're switched off, because the Rain-X has been applied, the water on your windshield will still bead up and roll right off. Next up, a lot of folks love all these natural sweeteners. The problem, say consumers, is many of them have a very bitter aftertaste. So this is Splendid Natural Sweetener, no calorie sweetener, all the sweetness of stevia, but without the bitter aftertaste. It gets its unique sweetness from something called Reb D, one of the tastier extracts from the stevia leaf. No added flavors, no preservatives, no GMO. About $4 for one of these box. Next up from Kleenex. These folks aren't just making tissues anymore. This is Kleenex Facial Cleansing Exfoliating Cushions. Sounds pretty exotic. Dual-sided, multi-layered fabric with a gentle built-in cleanser that will exfoliate and polish your skin. So you just wet this to activate it, and all the cleanser that you need is right inside. I got to tell you, it's no secret we wear makeup in TV. I remove mine with like baby wipes when I get off the set. It might be nice to have something that's with everything built in. You just wet it,
but you're not going to have that fresh baby powder smell.
You're good to go. Oh, I have that anyway, my friend. I have that anyway. All right, next up, here come from Del Monte. These are called fruit refreshers. Okay, so forget the old school super syrupy and sweet fruit cups. This is kind of a modern take on that product. So each one is 100 calories, and instead of high fructose corn syrup, what it does is it pairs chunks of real fruit with a very light fruit water. So you get the same kind of sweetness without it being too sweet and with it being a bit healthier. And finally for you, every house is going to need a product like this, so consumers say, why not reach for Charmin Essentials Soft? It provides Charmin-like softness at an Angel Soft price. It's 2-ply toilet paper that's clog safe, septic safe, and Roto-Rooter approved. $5 buys you 12 double rolls, so not a bad price point. 28 products in all this year honored. A link to each one of them I've placed on your station website, and of course when you follow me at facebook.com/SaveMeSteve.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve. Good stuff as always.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, good seeing you. We'll see you soon. Starbucks is getting a little cooler.
Yes, they are.
All right, you guys, so I just wanted to take you to that segment about the top products of the year. Let me update the lower third here, and we are live on the Fox News Now stream. Appreciate you joining me here. Let's also, I want to break down some of the political stories for you guys here. I know some of you are wanting some of the politics again. We talk about politics all the time here on the stream, so I love that you guys are always interested. Let me pull this up really quickly. So I've got this 2 stories that I wanted to bring to you guys here tonight. Let me update this. All right, we got President Trump's Twitter handle here. Get this up and going. Appreciate your patience while I get this all set up for you guys. All right. Nope. This looks good. Okay. So now we got his Twitter page up here. We're going to keep an eye on it all night, you guys, because he's always tweeting at night, in the middle of the night, in the morning. We're keeping an eye on it at all times so that we don't ever miss a thing. But okay, so let's take you to some of the top stories of the day. What we do know now is President Trump is slamming recent Russia reports as, quote, blind hatred by the media. In a series of tweets, the president blasted reports from the New York Times and others that his campaign communicated with Russian intelligence during the election. We know this, but at the same time, he also criticized the U.S. intelligence community by leaking the information to news outlets. This caused a lot of confusion over social media, many people tweeting that it's either fake news or illegal leaks, but it can't be both. The president tweeted, quote, "The fake news media is going crazy with their conspiracy theories and blind hatred. MSNBC and CNN are unwatchable. Fox and Friends is great," end quote. This got a series of responses on social media, including one from MSNBC host Lawrence O'Donnell saying, quote, "You've been saying I'm unwatchable for years. Thanks for continuing to watch all these years to make sure I'm still unwatchable," end quote. Next story here, still involving President Trump. Under Armour CEO is walking back his comment on President Trump after calling President Donald Trump a, quote, "real asset" last week. Kevin Plank has backtracked with a full-page newspaper ad. The ad was printed in today's Baltimore Sun to clarify his comments, but doesn't mention Trump by name. Now, why did he do this? Well, we know that many people tweeted photos of Under Armour stock going way down after the CEO made supportive comments about the president, so now he's walking back those statements so people don't boycott his business. What do you guys think about that? Those are two top stories I wanted to bring you guys to today here on the stream. Pretty interesting that the CEO of Under Armour is walking back his comments that he made about President Trump. He made supportive comments about the president, and then the stock went down. And people were tweeting at him saying that they would no longer buy Under Armour products because he made a supportive comment about President Trump. So then he took out a full-page article in the Baltimore Sun saying that, well, he didn't really call him by name, but you can kind of see what he's saying in the article, that he's sort of backtracking his statements because he doesn't want to lose business over the comment he made about President Trump, that he supports President Trump. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, would you boycott a company if they said they voted for somebody that you didn't vote for? I find it sort of interesting. Some of you are Trump supporters in the chat here and watching here on the stream. Would you boycott a company that supported Hillary Clinton? Let me know. Tweet at me, Mary Kate Fox 10. I just think it's interesting that so many brands and companies are getting involved now where they're sharing their opinions, or they're afraid to share their opinions because they don't want to lose business. We know that Nordstrom pulled Ivanka's line from their stores because they said the sales weren't doing well, which may or may not be true, but at the same time, maybe they pulled the line because they were afraid that some of their shoppers would no longer go to the store if they knew Nordstrom was still carrying Ivanka Trump. I mean, is Nordstrom carrying Ivanka Trump mean that they support President Trump? I think it's just a fashion line, right? I mean, yes, she's President Trump's daughter, but she was a fashion designer way before he was president, and that's why they carried her line, because people liked her clothes and her shoes. So now, would you boycott Nordstrom because they carried Ivanka Trump's clothing line? I don't think it means that Nordstrom supported Trump. I think that it just meant that she had a good clothing line and they carried it. But they did decide to drop it, and other stores are also deciding to drop her line because I think that they're afraid people will boycott their stores over not liking President Trump. Or maybe the stores themselves don't like the Trumps, so they're deciding to drop the line themselves. I just think it's sort of interesting. Again, we're talking about this story because the CEO of Under Armour made some comments about President Trump. He made supportive comments about him. He said that Trump was a, quote, "real asset" last week. And ever since he made that comment, people started tweeting hate at the CEO of Under Armour, and they started screenshotting pictures of the Dow, of the stock that was plummeting for Under Armour after the CEO said that the president was a real asset. All he did was call him a real asset, and people were boycotting the brand like that. And it's interesting how brands and companies are being affected by how the election went. Don't you think? Marie in the chat saying, I will buy Under Armour all the more knowing they backed a winner. Thanks for your comment, Marie. And tweet at me, Mary Kate Fox 10. I want to pull up your opinions here. And in all honesty, this isn't even really politically related. I don't want to know if you voted for Hillary or for Trump. It's just more about, would you boycott a company because they chose to vote for someone you didn't agree with? Or would you I mean, I can understand boycotting a company because they maybe are behind a foundation that you don't agree with or something, but to boycott a whole company or to really give a CEO of a company hatred just for saying that the president was a real asset is pretty crazy. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I think that everyone's entitled to their opinion. You can certainly choose to shop wherever you want to. But again, we do know that Nordstrom dropped Ivanka Trump's line. And I don't think Nordstrom carried Ivanka Trump's line in the beginning because they thought, oh, the Trumps are so great. I think she had just probably a good line, and Nordstrom liked the line and thought it would do well in stores, and so they carried it. But now they're saying that the sales have gone down, and maybe the sales really did go down. Maybe people were afraid to buy Ivanka Trump's stuff because they didn't want to get bullied. Maybe people didn't want to have a pair of shoes that said Trump on, the inside of them, in fear of people thinking, oh, you support Trump? But maybe they don't. Maybe they just liked the style of the shoe. It's about fashion. It's not even about who you voted for, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? Tweet at me, Mary Kate Fox 10, or let me know in the chat. I'd love to bring up some of your comments here. Let me see this one here. This is an interesting comment here. Let me pull this up. Nye saying, was Under Armour getting boycotted part of their plan? Good publicity. Certainly was publicity because they took out a full-page ad in the Baltimore Sun backtracking their comments about President Trump. How do you backtrack? How do you step back on a nice comment? It's one thing to sort of step back from something you said that was mean and apologize, but how do you take back something you said that was nice? Because people are now hating on you for saying something nice. How do you... But I guess they did, and they put out this full-page ad because, basically what they're trying to say is, no, wait, we don't really support him. Please keep buying our stuff, because they're worried that because of that comment, people are now going to stop buying Under Armour. And as I said earlier, people were tweeting screenshots of the Under Armour stock plummeting after that comment was made. Thanks for the tweet. Let me pull up a few more here from you guys. Chris Lee tweeting me this. I don't see the point of boycotting businesses for political beliefs. It hurts the economy and divides us more. And let me know, you guys can see that well, right? I guess I should use this finger. You guys can see that up in the right-hand corner. If you can't, let me know. I'll take it full screen instead. Just want to make sure you guys can read the tweet with me here. Chris Lee, thanks for your comment. Interesting, yeah. Chris Lee saying, I don't see the point of boycotting businesses for political beliefs. It hurts the economy and divides us more. It's sort of interesting, let's say a friend comes over and they have a new pair of Nike shoes on. Wouldn't it be strange if your friend said, what? You buy Nikes? Well, didn't you know that the CEO voted for Hillary Clinton? I mean, wouldn't you think, so it's a shoe I like? Isn't there sort of, there's a line that needs to be drawn here when we're talking about, this is, again, people stopped buying Ivanka Trump's clothes, apparently weren't buying them enough, so Nordstrom had to drop her line because they said her sales were bad. I wonder if people truly decided not to buy Ivanka shoes and dresses because they were afraid that if it said Trump on their tag or on their shoes, that people would think they voted for Trump and they would get bullied. When really, maybe you voted for Hillary, but you just like the way Ivanka designs a stiletto. That's what's sort of interesting to me. Thanks for the tweet, Chris. Let me pull this up from Jonathan here. Jonathan says, I think companies will also hurt the economy and customers also. Goes vice versa. Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks for your tweet, Jonathan. Let's pull up a few more here. Jesse tweeting me this. Democrats will do everything they can right now to protest Trump winning. It doesn't surprise me that they would boycott. But, you know, again, we're talking about this story about the Under Armour CEO getting backlash for literally all he said was, I think that Trump is a great asset. And he got backlash for that. He felt so embarrassed about saying a supportive comment about President Trump that he actually took out a full-page ad. Let me pull it up for you guys. He took out a full-page ad in the Baltimore Sun because he wanted to backtrack on the compliment he paid, which again, I think it's kind of harder to backtrack on a compliment than an insult, because when you insult someone, you can just say, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. But what do you say when you tell someone you have a nice smile? Oh, I actually didn't mean it. I don't really like you. To everyone else who thinks I like them, I don't. It just sounds weird. Let's pull this up for you guys so you can see it here. Let me take this down really quick. I'm going to pull up this full-page ad that he took out. This is in the Baltimore Sun. An open letter. So I called it an ad, I'm sorry. An open letter. So this is interesting. So let's take a look at this. So here's the open letter. I know that the font's kind of small. We won't read the whole thing, but look, it says Kevin Plank, founder, chairman, and CEO of Under Armour. People were tweeting out this screenshot saying Under Armour CEO Kevin Plank prints full-page open letter in today's Baltimore Sun to clarify president comments, but he doesn't mention Trump by name. Now you can see in the big quote here, it says, we are always mindful of the responsibility that we have to those who choose our brand, especially the young people who represent the bold and bright future of a diverse and inclusive America. Again, he made this comment about President Trump, and let me make sure that the quote I have is correct here. Yeah, he called Trump a real asset, and then he got a lot of hate for it, so he took out this full page in the Baltimore Sun, an open letter. He doesn't call, he doesn't actually say President Trump in the open letter, but you can tell who he's talking about, to sort of backtrack what he said and to, try and keep his customers still with him so that he doesn't lose anybody over what he said. Isn't that a shame that you can actually lose customers just for calling somebody a real asset? But I think that a lot of people are against President Trump and they feel that he's a bad man. And I think that when you really feel strongly that someone's a bad person and then you hear someone else say, well, they're a real asset, you don't want to be around that person anymore. You don't agree with them. So I can see why people would say, I'm not going to buy your stuff anymore. I completely disagree with you. How could you call him a real asset? Makes sense. But interesting, I'm looking through all these tweets here. He got so much backlash for saying he's a real asset. People, again, tweeting out this picture. Let me pull this up for you guys, of the Under Armour stock after he called the president a real asset. Let me show this to you guys. Pull this down. It's right here. So here it is. So that was a picture of the stock going down. Let me take the lower third down so you guys can see. Someone tweeted this out saying, hashtag Under Armour stock since the CEO openly supported Trump. Now he's, quote, walking back on his statement for supporting President Trump because he saw the stock went down. It dropped pretty far for just saying a supportive comment about the president, and so now he's trying to backtrack it. What do you guys think about this? Tweet me at MaryKateFox10. I find it very interesting I know people in the chat are saying, I keep saying real asset a lot. I know, but that's the only thing he said. There's nothing more to the quote. And I find it interesting, though, that, and I'm trying to ask myself this, too, is would I boycott a business because the CEO supported someone I didn't vote for? I don't think so. I mean, if I like Under Armour, I'll probably go buy. But you know what? You never know how you feel when you're going to be in the position. But I want to know what you guys think. Appreciate you guys sending me your tweets and your opinions to Mary Kate Fox 10, and thanks for letting me rant a little bit about that. I thought it was an interesting story. What do you guys think? Under Armour, I just think, well, okay, here's the thing. I know his stock plummeted, but I almost believe that, do you think it will help his stock? Do you think it'll go back up? Do you think people will start buying Under Armour again because he's retracted his supportive statement about President Trump? Or do you think people are going to think, nope, you said it, I'm done. I don't care if you retract it, I'm done. I mean, what if it doesn't even help? It almost stand your ground with whatever you believe in, right? Nathan saying if the CEO supports it, that's cool. If the CEO insults others, that's not cool. This CEO did not insult anyone. Yeah, true. All right, let's move on to the next story. Peter says he wants to move on here, so let's take you to the next story here. Appreciate you guys watching with me live here on the Fox News Now stream. Let's pull up for you. I want to take you to this. Let's see here. I know a lot of you have been talking about this today. Harrison Ford. Have you heard about what happened to Harrison Ford, where you're about to find out a little bit of a mishap? Pretty crazy story here. Let me make sure the volume's up on this. All right, let's take you to this story. Let's hear the latest on what happened to Harrison Ford.
Now, he's somebody I'd like to go see.
Yeah?
Love Tony Bennett. And he's going on tour, and guess what? Maybe this is my chance. He'll be at Celebrity Theater on July 11th.
You know, here's what I will say. If there's somebody you think you like or you love, and they're at the Celebrity Theater.
That is a great venue.
It's an awesome venue. No bad seat in that house. You're right on top of them.
And it's intimate.
Right, you're right there.
Yep. So tickets go on sale next Monday, February 20th at 10 a.m.
All right, Harrison Ford, you know, he was pretty good piloting the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He could do that. But his own planes?
Ooh, he's had some rough
Maybe not
go-rounds.
so much. Right.
Yeah.
So he just recently, he crash landed on a golf course. Right?
And
now Celeste.
Right. Another close call.
And this is a really serious one because it's involving a lot of other people, right?
Right. At a very busy airport, there's a big investigation right now. So let's take you to our 3D maps, and I'm going to show you what took place. This was at John Wayne Airport in Orange County. I'm going to bring you to the side so you can really see. So right in here, you're going to see the planes, okay, right here to the center of your screen. And then I'm going to show you the runway where he was directed to land. So right in here, this is where it directed him to land, and he copied back to the tower. And so the tower initially thought, okay, well, he knows where he's going. But then they say that he actually landed on a runway that was parallel to this. So it was either, Troy and I were talking about this a short minute ago, it either was this one or it was the shorter runway right here. So either one of those, which because both of them are parallel, that's where he landed. But let me take you in just a little bit closer, and you're going to be able to see how close these two runways are. Hold on one second, let me erase those. And you can see how close some of these planes are to that runway. So you see the runway there, and then I'm going to pull out and then show you on the other side just how close. There's other planes on that end. And you see all the hangars surrounding as well. There's a lot of private planes at this airport in Orange County as well. So he was in his plane when he landed to that. But get this, it was when he landed that runway, it was over a Boeing 737. Word is that it was an American Airlines jet. So he landed on the wrong runway as another jet was taxiing. That plane eventually took off after this whole incident. But what Ford reportedly asked traffic controllers after he landed was, he says, was that an airliner meant to be underneath me? So he was a little confused after he landed. He thought, was that supposed to be there? Am I on the right place?
You're never supposed to fly over a packed airliner.
Never.
And he knows that.
That should not
He
be
should
the
know
case.
that.
So there was 110 people and 6 crew members on that plane. It left for Dallas a few minutes after. But as we were just chatting, this isn't the first time. 2 years ago, he crashed a World War II airplane at a golf course near Santa Monica. That was engine failure. He tried to turn back to the airport, hit a tree, came down at the Penmar course, which is right there near the airport. In '99, he crash landed a helicopter in Ventura County. That was during a training session. There was a Beechcraft that scraped a runway. That was at Lincoln Municipal Airport in Nebraska. You can tell he does quite a bit of flying, right? Listen to this, though. Him flying in the skies, it has been used in real-life search and rescue missions, including helping to locate a missing hiker and a Boy Scout. That was in Wyoming in 2001. So the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association also has named an award in his honor. So in a lot of ways, he's done a lot of good, but you can tell he spends a lot of time in the skies if he's had so many incidents take place.
Well, yeah, I guess that's one way of looking at it. You could also say, you know, he's had a lot of incidents.
Yeah, which is not good.
No. But anyway, the FAA, hopefully they'll take an objective look at this and say he's not a big star, and we'll make our decision
from that.
Based on the man as a pilot,
right?
Not the fact that he's Han Solo.
Yeah. Well,
that's
we'll
a lot of
see.
stuff.
Hopefully that FAA investigator isn't a Star Wars fan.
Who's not a Star Wars fan?
That might work in his favor
That's
if he is
everybody.
a Star Wars fan, right?
Right. Hello, Beth.
Hi, Beth.
Take that guy take him out of the plane. He
Yeah.
should not fly again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
It is
I
crazy.
think that could have been really bad.
Well, and the thing is that, you know, the folks on that American Airlines jet probably had no idea that anything was going on
No,
until
they probably
after
didn't.
the fact.
No.
That Indiana Jones just passed over him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't it him? What, didn't he play Indiana Jones?
Yeah, he was so good. Hey, look,
Yeah.
I'm a huge Harrison Ford fan. Seriously, I think his acting is amazing. But boy, I didn't even know about 2 or 3 of those that
we
Celeste
just
brought
ran
up.
through. I didn't
Scraping
either.
the runway, and I thought I kind of remembered the crash landing of the
Yeah.
helicopter. But that's a lot of. I mean, to be able to walk away from all those things.
I think, you know, it's time to, I would hang up my little wings or whatever you hang up and say, call it a day, and that's it. I mean, the people sitting on the American flight, their pilot has to retire at what, 60?
Yeah.
And he's still up there jetting around and going
That's an
down the
excellent
wrong
point.
runway.
You know, here's the
So-
other thing that I was thinking when I heard about this is, and I think it happens at Sky Harbor too, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but you've got these private pilots in these little planes that, you know, you don't know how much experience they necessarily have, sharing the runway with these jets full of people.
Yeah.
That seems kind of crazy
Yeah.
too, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yes, it does. Yes. And that is exactly what happened at John Wayne Airport yesterday. And well, it all ended well. So, but it is a little strange. He found the wrong taxiway. Just amazing.
That's pretty important to get
well.
right.
I would say
You know,
so.
even as cute as he is, I wouldn't get in a plane with him.
I know.
No way.
Not after that track record.
It's like, nah, let's just go have a glass of wine, okay?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not
And
going
I'll
to
drive.
go get in a plane with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed Callista Flockhart's never with him, is she? Yeah, she's at home praying.
Yeah.
He comes
That's
back
true.
home.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah,
You make a good,
so-
yeah. He never seems to have any passengers with him. I think he's always alone.
No.
That says something right
Doesn't,
there.
does he? Would you?
No.
No.
Heck no.
Good
No.
point. Thank you,
I don't
Beth.
care.
Have a great Wednesday.
All right.
We will see you
Okay,
tomorrow.
see you tomorrow.
All right, you guys, so I just wanted to take you to that segment. Can you believe it? Harrison Ford. Gotta love him. All right, you guys, appreciate you watching with me live here on the Fox News Now stream. We are, in fact, streaming live here in Phoenix about 8 o'clock here tonight. We stream 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. It's Wednesday, and yeah, it's 8 o'clock here. And I'm going to be here hosting with you for the next hour here on the show. Appreciate you guys watching with me. I'm taking you to all the top stories here on the show. I want to take you, actually, to this story. Let me pull this up for you guys. So, yesterday was Valentine's Day. We know that. Okay, some of you love it, some of you hate it, I know. But what about Single Awareness Day? Have you been brought awareness to Single Awareness Day? Well, you're about to. You're going to find out what this is all about. Did you celebrate Single Awareness Day? If you didn't celebrate Valentine's Day, let me know. It's over, you guys, though. Valentine's Day is over. Don't worry, we won't talk about it anymore. But I do want to take you to this segment about Single Awareness Day. And let's find out what this is all about. All right, let's go.
Here, you little
Cute
dog.
little one.
Oh, you are a sweetheart. All right, new this morning. Today, did you know it's Singles Awareness Day? So the day after Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Right?
So if you're feeling a little lonely, maybe you want to bring home a friend. Melissa Gable, our good friend with Maricopa County Animal Care and Control, here this morning. And yeah, okay, so we're celebrating a day of being single.
So what we're saying is, hey, if you didn't find the love of your life yesterday,
yes,
come to the shelter today and you can find the love of your life at the shelter.
Which we know dogs are the best companions.
You know what?
They really
Pets
love
are so
no
much
matter
better
what.
than people most of the time. So they don't judge.
They don't.
Unconditional love.
Always happy to see you.
Exactly. They don't
right?
care if you've put on some extra weight, if your breath stinks
They
in the
don't care
morning.
if your house is messy.
Exactly.
They don't care about any of that.
They
as
don't
long
complain.
As you wow, they are perfect.
See?
All right, we made the sell. Now, okay, but you brought two sweeties. She's adorable.
Isn't she cute? So that is Pixie. Pixie is 9 years old and just an absolute doll. Probably weighs maybe 3 pounds.
Yeah, she's little.
Just a teeny tiny one. And then the one, let me move him a little because I don't know if you can see him, but I've got Taylor. He is a year old. He is also another Chihuahua mix. Come here.
Like,
and
nope.
both of these
Not
both of them are available today, but if you are looking to adopt a dog and you want a special deal, then for Singles Awareness Day, we are doing a special event tonight from 6 to 8 p.m. at both of our shelters, waived adoption fees.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is it kind of a mixer, too? I mean, can you meet somebody
You
down
never
there?
know. You totally could. I know we've got some employees that are all dolled up today in anticipation. So
who might come through the door.
Exactly.
You never know. That's
and
right.
you already know you have pets in common. You love animals. So why not, you know?
That's always a good common ground, right?
Yes. So free adoptions from 6 to 8 p.m. I should say it's free for kittens and cats and dogs over 6 months of age. Under 6 months, we're still charging $100. But to be honest with you, we don't really have a lot of puppies right now. So
okay.
And where are you again?
We have two locations, 2500 South 27th Avenue in Phoenix and 2630 West Rio Salado in Mesa. So from 6 to 8 p.m. waived adoption fees. So come on down.
And just show up then.
Just
at that
show
time.
up. Yep.
Okay.
Show up.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks
for being here.
Pixie and Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor, yeah.
So
Pixie and
good.
Taylor.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
going to
she's
be grabbed
putting her
up
little
like that.
face on my leg.
Definitely.
All right.
She's adorable.
I know, she is a
See, you guys, all you need is a pet to make you feel better, right? I think that was great. Wanted to take you guys to that segment. Appreciate you guys watching with me live here on the Fox News Now stream. I'm your host, Mary Kate Gaffney. Thanks for joining me tonight here on the stream. Reading some of your tweets here. Appreciate you guys sending me your comments and opinions to my Twitter account, Mary Kate Fox 10. I can see all the tweets and then pull them up here on the air, so thank you. Andrea's tweeting me saying hello from Sweden. Hey, thanks for watching. That's what's great about this show, is that people from all over can watch this show. The US, the world, everyone can watch, which is great. Appreciate that. We are streaming out of Phoenix, but we don't just cover Phoenix local news. We cover news from all over. It's national stuff, you guys. So anything that you watch here is going to concern you. Like this next story I want to bring you to, which I thought was really cool. This is about the power of healing, a really cool package that we have here. It aired only on Fox. You're not going to find this anywhere else. And it's really about the power of healing. A lot of people have different ways of dealing with pain and injury. Some people do turn to medicine. Other people turn to alternative routes. So let's see what this is all about. And let me know what you guys think in the chat.
Stressed out by life or suffering from medical conditions that Western medicine can't seem to cure, they're turning to another kind of medicine for help.
It's called energy medicine, and it's the belief that healers can channel healing energy into a patient and effectively cure them. But critics call it pseudoscience. Tonight, we have a story about how two Arizona women are using their healing practices to help people.
We're a team, we work together. We've created a technique that no one else in the world is doing.
Meet Deborah Martin and Sherry Getton, two Scottsdale women who use their abilities to manipulate human energy and heal.
When I look at a person on the table, I don't care what religion they are, what race, what their background is. It's about love, it's about compassion, and it's about healing and transformation.
Deborah uses her skills as a medium and healer.
I see spiritual surgeons come into the room. I see loved ones come into the room, and I receive messages directly from God.
While Sherry channels energy to heal the body, mind, and spirit.
Everybody has something. We go to the root, we're able to heal it and release it so the person knows what's causing their pain, and then they can walk forward in their life.
And walking forward is what many of their clients do. Just ask John Rosencrantz, who couldn't walk without the aid of a cane before he saw Deborah and Sherry.
I walked in here with this cane, and now I'm able to walk out without it, and it's the first time in 40 years that I haven't had this kind of pain.
So we're going to go to the root, and we're going to release it, and we're going to surrender it.
Sherry and Deborah showed us how they helped John Rosencrantz, who came here after suffering a painful condition in his leg for 40 years.
What's amazing in John's healing session is we knew nothing about him.
Hi, sweetie. Nice to meet you.
You knew nothing about me, and I wasn't aware that I was holding on to this much pain since I was 19 years old.
But they apparently knew enough to heal his extreme pain. Rosencrantz said he suffered from poor blood circulation in his legs, and doctors said it was vascular necrosis.
They got to the root of the pain, which I had no idea where it was even coming from.
After one session with Deborah and Sherry, Rosencrantz says he feels great and walked out of the office a new man.
I can walk without pain.
Don't believe him? Just ask his wife.
It was amazing. He walked out. Got in the car, we left, and he goes, Marge, I don't have any pain. It's the first time in so long.
And weeks later, John and Marge were taking trips they never imagined they could.
With this healing, I feel like the miracle was twofold, because now I can walk with my husband, and it's nice to know that he is not feeling that pain.
A miracle Sherry and Deborah say they see almost every day.
It's a miracle that happens right in front of our eyes that brings us to our knees. There's miracles taking place. It's beautiful. If we can give them a bit of light, if we can turn on their light switch within, we can give people hope, then we did our job.
If you would like to learn more about Deborah and Sherry, or if you'd like to find a book on the healing sessions, we have that on our information page on fox10phoenix.com. Just click Seen on TV. And by the way, group sessions start at about $100.
All right, you guys, so I just wanted to air that package for you. I thought it was pretty interesting stuff. Appreciate you guys watching with me here live on the Fox News Now stream. I'm your host, Mary Kate Gaffney. Maybe in a few minutes I'll be able to get Dave Muncie up here with me. What do you guys think? He is our weatherman here at Fox 10, and he's always fun to chat with up here. He's always got great stories. That's what I love about him. I do want to pull up for you guys a few social media posts from the First Family. Got to keep you guys updated. This post coming in from, there's a few new posts I actually wanted to show you from Ivanka Trump. So let's pull this up on her Instagram account here.
No, I'm good.
Here we go. So here's a picture she posted just about an hour ago. She said at the joint press conference with Donald Trump and the Prime Minister today at the White House. And that's her sitting there with her husband, Jared. And there's her dad. She posted that on Instagram about an hour ago, and then she posted this one last night. Take a look at this. She wrote in the status, "My Valentine," with a heart emoji. Very cute. People writing nice things. Gorgeous, beautiful, you're classy, so gorgeous. And then, of course, some people write nasty things as well. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but picture that Ivanka posted last night with her husband, Jared Kushner. Let's go to the third most recent one. Yeah, this one we put on for you guys yesterday. This was for Valentine's Day. She took a boomerang holding her Valentine's Day balloons. Those videos are always really hard to take, to get them to repeat over and over again. But yeah, so that's the picture that she just posted last night with her Valentine. That's her husband, Jared Kushner, who is on the team with President Trump there. And then this is the most recent post. There she is sitting with her husband, Jared, and the president from earlier today. I want to keep you guys updated on all of the social media posts coming in from the first family. This one also posted on Instagram from President Trump. Posted this about 3 hours ago. Says in the status, Venezuela should allow Leo Lopez, a political prisoner and husband of Lillian, out of prison immediately. Here's the picture he has. Marco Rubio in the room as well. There you can see. Next post here I want to show you guys. This post about 4 hours ago. Walking to joint press conference with the Prime Minister. What do you guys think about this pic? Taking you to the third most recent post as well. This was posted 7 hours ago. He says, join me in Florida this Saturday at 5 o'clock for a rally at the Orlando International Airport. Pretty interesting. I know a lot of people were asking earlier today, why is he holding a rally? He's already president. I think he honestly enjoys these rallies. I know he's already president, but I feel like he misses the time on the campaign trail, because he also had the thank you rallies where he went on his thank you tour. And we discussed this a little bit earlier on the show, is why is he having a thank you tour? And I think he honestly loves taking the stage and hearing the applause and talking to his supporters. I think it's just fun for him. I mean, I'm sure it would be fun for you guys at home. What do you think? Wouldn't you love to just get on stage and have everyone just clapping for you? I mean, it'd be pretty fun, right? Either that, or he probably wants to talk about his policies. Maybe it's something a little bit more serious than what I'm thinking. But yeah, he's having a rally in Orlando, Florida this weekend. So that's pretty interesting. We'll see what he has to say. Again, that's going to be in Orlando, which is in Florida, as you know. And he's got the Mar-a-Lago estate there in Florida as well. Have you guys seen Mar-a-Lago? Let me pull this up. I know most of you have seen this estate, but it is incredible how big it is. I mean, just take a look at this. Let me show you guys real quickly here. Here is the estate. You got to call it an estate, because anything that looks like this, you don't call it anything else. Definitely an estate. That's where he stays when he's in Palm Beach, Florida. Mar-a-Lago estate. 24 acres in Palm Beach. Wow. Take a look at that. And if I move it up just a little bit here, you can see it's just right on the water. And there's his house right here. Really puts the neighbors to shame, doesn't it, when you think, oh gosh, well, can't beat that. But you know what? I think that sometimes it can be nice to just have something small to take care of, so you don't have to hire a whole staff. There's that picture that was taken of him over the weekend having a meeting. But yeah, this the estate is just honestly, it's so massive. It's crazy when you get these aerial pictures here. Let me see if I can pull up another one. Just to see, the inside of the home. I mean, take a look at this. Not your average home, will say that, right? Do you think he'd ever put it on Airbnb? Probably not. At this point, he probably wouldn't. But let me tell you, if that was posted on Airbnb, people would want to rent that out. Although I'm assuming the rate would be pretty pricey. Okay, you guys, let's take you to the next top story here. Appreciate you watching with me here on the Fox News Now stream. Keeping an eye on all of the Twitter feeds, though. of the First Family and all the elected officials so that we can keep you guys updated here throughout the show. I want to pull this up for you guys, though. A new restaurant opened, and we had our reporter Corey go out there, and Corey is one of our best reporters here at Fox 10. He's so lively and energetic. Any segment he does is so much fun. And he checked out this new restaurant. It's called The Living Room, which I think is kind of a cool name. So let's take you there, and let's see what this restaurant's all about.
Well, Corey, as he does best,
I know.
eating, out and about, checking out a new restaurant.
It's called The Living Room.
Yeah, I've been to another location of The Living Room, but this is a newer one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cor.
Well, hello. Welcome to The Living Room. Yeah, that's right. It's a restaurant, but it's The Living Room. And man, are they doing great biz. We're here at about Scottsdale Road and Doubletree, the shops at Gainey Village. You want a place that's cozy, comfy, you're going to love it. And they just opened not too long ago, although this isn't their first location. You know what I love? It's not just a living room, it's also sort of like Greg Brady's bedroom. Because, you know, you get these cool beads going here. You're going to love the whole vibe here. It's about as cozy and comfy as it gets. And the good news is, it comes with Dominic Jones. Chef, good to see you again.
Pleasure, Corey.
Yeah, we always love getting together with you. How many living rooms in the Valley now?
Oh, we're, let's see here, we now have Chandler, Ahwatukee, DC Ranch in here, so 4 in town and 1 down in Tucson.
Very good. Well, love the vibe, and boy, you talk about putting your customers at ease. This is about as cozy a joint as you're going to find.
That's why it's the living room.
Yeah,
Come in and relax, chill out like hanging out at home.
Love it. Well, let's take us on a little tour here. The food, it's always beautiful and so inventive. Let's start over here.
Yeah, we got a little bit of everything from all over the restaurant. This is the ceviche that we will be featuring at our new tequila bar, La Sala, which will be opening up here in a week or so. This is one of our brunch items. This is our avocado toast. So this is nice, hearty country bread with avocado schmear, beefsteak, tomato, egg, great. This here is a corn waffle with a little bit of spice to it and Amarillo sauce. Nice. Really, really, really great. This here is one of our cheese crisps that we'll also feature at La Sala with our brisket that we cook off.
You put brisket on the top of a cheese crisp?
Yes.
Aren't
yes.
there any rules here?
No, none whatsoever. It's nice chipotle base. It's really good. Superfood salad, one of the #1 items here. Everybody loves it. Even though it's all veggie, it's nice and hearty. It's got all those great antioxidant foods that, you know, that makes it the superfood.
I recognize a burger when I see one.
Well, you know, if we're going to be that healthy, let's just wash it down with some fat and calories and yumminess.
Very good.
So.
And you've also got a liquid architect back here. There's Chris. Next time we get together, we'll see what he's up to, and boy, does he know what he's doing. More coming your way from all your friends at The Living Room. We'll see you again in a few.
Oh, that all looks delicious.
The one in Ahwatukee is always packed. Always.
The vibe is so cool at the restaurants. Yeah, it's comfortable and
Something
relaxed.
about a couch.
Exactly.
All right, you guys, well, I just wanted to take you to that segment. I thought it was pretty cool. Interesting that they call it The Living Room. I kind of like that name. Chicken in the chat asking, what are your favorite foods? Great question. I am addicted to cheeseburgers and fries. Absolutely. I had to stop myself from going to Shake Shack every week because I know I shouldn't be going every single week. Gosh, cheese fries are great. I love Italian food, love sushi, but my weakness for sure is cheeseburgers and fries. I'll go anywhere. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Shake Shack, In-N-Out, they're all great. So that's definitely my weakness there. Thanks for asking. I won't ramble about that, but appreciate you guys watching that segment with me. I thought it was pretty interesting. I liked the name of the restaurant, The Living Room. What do you guys think? We all have something. We all have one food or one snack that we can't give up. That's what's so hard about it. I think a lot of people are addicted to sweets. A lot of people love to eat cakes and candy. I don't have a sweets problem. I have more of a salt problem. You know, the chips and the French fries and the caramelized onions, anything that's got a lot of salt. That's what I can't get away from. That's my hard. That's the hard for me to give up. All right, you guys. And you see, also, and someone said, about a date in there in the chat. When you go on a date, you shouldn't order that one food that you're going to look like a monster eating because you love it so much. You can't. I mean, it's kind of awkward to order a big burger on a date. So you usually order, something you can eat with a fork. I'm not saying you have to order a salad, but it's easier to eat, a pasta or a soup or something and not dive into a big burger or something like that on a date. All right, you guys, let's take you to the next story here. Appreciate you guys watching with me live here on the Fox News Now stream. Let's take you to this segment here. I wanted to show you guys kind of strange. Now, I don't know if you guys in the chat or anyone that's home watching, you remember the American Girl doll? It's still out. People still buy them. The American Girl doll. I remember I had one. I think I had Felicity, the brunette one. Anyway, they were a really popular doll. They're about this big that little girls would get. You get your own. You get to change their outfits. They're really popular. It's called the American Girl doll. Well, now they're coming out with the American Boy doll. I'm surprised it actually took them this long to come out with a boy doll, but a lot of talk about this, and some people find it kind of weird. Some people find it an amazing addition to the American Girl Doll Corporation. But would you buy this for your son? Let me know. Because, guys play with action figures. Is it really much different? Action figures, in reality, are just tiny little dolls, right? So, okay, let's take you to this segment. Let me know what you guys think.
Well, if you're a parent out there and you have a little girl, you know all about the American Girl dolls.
Yeah, what a huge waste of money. I hate to say it.
They are very expensive.
They're expensive, and then it's like...
You have to buy all the accessories for them.
Don't take them out of the box or whatever.
No, and here's a $50 outfit for them. And then if they want their hair done, they have to go to the hair salon, and that costs money. Anyway, they're releasing the first boy doll. The doll's name is Logan Everett, and he's a drummer and bandmate for American Girl. He is. Look at him.
We always joke that my little one's going to bring home a drummer. It's like a boyfriend with tattoos. Does he have tats?
No, he's pretty clean cut. Look at him. Anyways, he is the bandmate for the American Girl doll, Tenny Grant. Logan comes with a drum set. He costs $115, and he goes on sale tomorrow.
Yeah. Whatever you do, don't take them out of the box.
You know that we have that American Girl doll store here at the Scottsdale Quarter now. It just opened up about a year maybe or so ago. Yeah. And they have an American Girl doll cafe inside the store. And you bring your doll, and they have high chairs for the doll to sit at while you eat lunch.
My.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Kaylee has the generic knockoff versions of the American Girl doll.
What is that? The American
they're the ones that are sold at like Walmart and Target.
What are they called?
They're a third of the price. My Generation dolls, that's what they're called, because I don't trust her yet with an expensive doll.
Does she ever hit you with, all my friends have American Girls.
No, she's
Why
not.
do I have a My Generation?
Thankfully, she's not in the comparison game yet that every other kid gets to at one point in time. She, though, she writes all over her dolls. They all have marker tattoos, and they've got, like, makeup drawn on them. Oh. So we're not getting an American Girl
it's like they're
doll.
in high school.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm not spending that on a doll for you to write on yet.
Yeah.
So
we understood. You know, we used to like cut our Barbie's hair,
do
all kinds of stuff to Barbie.
Blow dry your Barbie.
And it doesn't grow back.
No, it doesn't. And one time I blow dried my Barbie doll's hair, and it turned pink and melted.
Oh.
It's not real hair.
That sounds safe, doesn't it? I wonder what kind of fumes her hair put off that we were breathing in as 5-year-olds. No. I did have a Barbie whose hair would grow, and you would twist a knob on her neck.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that one.
But it's finite.
Perfectly
At some
normal.
point, the hair
Just
doesn't
like
come back.
humans.
Especially if you keep cutting it.
Yeah. Yeah, just another way in which Barbie is nowhere near human.
Right?
Yeah, big old knob on her neck. Yeah. And we know Ken. Well, we know what his problem is. He was...
Oh, poor Ken.
Ken was not...
Kind of neutered.
I know.
Well, what else are you going to do?
He was neutered.
Yeah, you don't need all that stuff flying around. Right?
No.
Well, my mom never got me a Ken doll.
No,
Even his hair was plastic.
Why didn't she give you...
No, we did not. I don't know. We didn't have a Ken doll. I don't know what she was worried about.
Well,
you know, we put Barbie and Ken away together for the night. I don't know, in the same, you know, Barbie case.
Yeah.
I don't know what she was worried about.
And then there was Skipper.
I have to talk to her about that.
Barbie's sister, or Barbie's
Oh,
cousin.
Skipper.
Skipper
Yeah,
had
I don't
flat
know if
feet.
I had Skipper. I think I had Skipper.
She was the
She
smaller.
had flat feet. Well, then she
flat
couldn't
feet.
skip, could she?
No, I know.
I don't know if you could skip
She couldn't
with
wear
flat
high
feet.
heels.
It certainly hurts.
So she had flat
Yeah.
feet. They weren't curved up to wear the high heels.
So was she like a little?
So you had
like
to
a
shove.
shoe?
when they
you had to
started
shove her
platform
feet.
shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
The Steppular on the morning
These
show.
are the memories that
The Skipper.
Poor Skipper. Like, wouldn't Skipper want to wear a pair of high heels one day in life? But
You would
they
think
didn't
so.
about
I mean,
that.
she was all of 12. I mean, come on.
Oh,
So she's
that's
little.
true. She's 12. I guess 12-year-olds
Yeah.
shouldn't wear high heels.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they do now. I bet you see Surrey
Oh,
Cruise.
no, that's very true. Thank you, Beth. We'll see you in a bit.
So they are definitely laughing about this. It's sort of funny though when you think back about when you're a kid and the way that you treated your action figures or your dolls. I wanted to pull up some photos that I found of the way that young kids treated their Barbie dolls. I mean, we did torture them, didn't we? Let me show you some of these pictures. Pretty funny what we like to do to our Barbie dolls here. Let's just bring this up just for the fun of it so we can show you guys what some people like to do. That is not, if that's not the scariest thing, could you imagine waking up to that? No. You don't want to see that toy laying around in your bed or anything. You know, you think, oh, I'm not sure what happened there. Sort of funny though how people like to redo their, like to put makeup on their dolls, or at least for me, I think I remember playing Barbies with my cousins when I was little, and we didn't have a Ken, and we wanted a Ken for the storyline or something we were doing, and my cousin said, oh, you know, I've got one that has a shaved head. Just pretend like it's a Ken or something like that. Because, you know, the Kens always had the short hair. And if you didn't have a Ken doll, you just had to make the other one look like a Ken doll. You know what I'm saying? You could kind of redesign your dolls or your Barbies however you wanted them to look. There's another picture I wanted to show you guys here in... Let's see if I can pull this up. Some of these are too bad. I don't want to show you. I mean, this one is... like, what is this? I think this is a Ken doll that got turned into something else. I'm not sure. Again, though, we were just showing you guys the new American boy doll. American Girl doll is something that most girls had when they were younger growing up. And now they're going to have the American boy doll. But really, my question is, I mean, all the little girls loved getting the American Girl doll because it was like your little friend. But would boys want this? Would you buy it for your son? Would little kids want this? I don't know. So I guess we'll see. I mean, you know, you play with action figures, maybe you would like this. But it's $115. You're probably sitting at home thinking, I hope my son doesn't want that because it's an expensive doll. But it's worth it. I had mine when I was a kid, and it was very fun. You got to pick out different outfits, and then you get to go to the store in Chicago or New York and take it with you. It's always special. All right, you guys, let's take you to another story here. Appreciate you watching with me on the Fox News Now stream. I want to take you to this story. Tyrese Gibson was in the studio. Great actor. He's on a new show, and he was in the studio to chat and talk about it. So let's take you to this segment.
Tyrese Gibson joining us this morning. Hey there.
Good morning. What's happening?
Hey.
How are you?
I'm digging the fur coat too, man. That looks good. Hey, Tyrese.
Saying, you know, man, you got to stay warm in the winter, baby.
Yeah, we know it. You know, I was reading a little bit about you, and you've been nominated for like 6 Grammys. You're a published author. You've got all these acting credits.
Producer, singer, model.
And I love that it all started for you, it seems like with a teacher, right? A teacher saying you should sing in a Coke commercial. Is that right?
Yeah, we all need someone to believe in us. And we've all had those moments where someone seen the value in us beyond what we have in our bank account. And that for sure happened to me when I was a kid. Multiple times.
Wow, what a story. And look at you now. I mean, it's a big deal. Hey, we're so happy that you're on Star because that is one of the hottest shows right now. We're so lucky that it's on Fox. But the cast has made this show, and now you're
amazing.
joining in the episode tonight. So what are your thoughts on that? Are you excited to be a part of it?
Well, I've done like 7 episodes, and my character name is Pastor Harris. I'm an ex-con, ex-crazy man that rededicated his life to Christ, and now I'm a senior pastor. And I'm a single pastor who's now dating a woman in my own congregation. And it happens to be Queen Latifah, played with the character named Carlotta. So she's been to my house, she's met my 3 kids. I've been very open and transparent about my story and who I am. And for whatever reason, she won't let me meet her kid, her daughter. Won't let me come to her house, won't let me come to her salon. I finally meet her daughter, so I thought. Her daughter is her son, who's now living as a transgender. And so tonight's episode was very uncomfortable to shoot, and it's gonna be very uncomfortable to watch, because we're gonna force people to have a dialogue and a conversation and ask themselves the question, if and when a moment like this were to ever happen at my house, what would I say? What would I do? How would I question my own faith and my own belief systems that I've been raised to believe? Would I decide to disown or disconnect from my own family and family members? I'm in love with this woman. I trusted her. She decided to fall in love with a pastor. She understands who I am and what my belief system is, and she's forcing me to question my own belief system and deciding to move forward or not move forward in this relationship. So tonight, here's my invite. If you've never heard of the TV show Star, because I know there's a lot of TV shows out there, binge watch on Hulu, Apple TV, watch every episode that you've missed.
Catch up.
Because you live under a rock. But I got your back. I got you. Tune in and watch the show tonight. It's going to be crazy, crazy. The most uncomfortable thing we've ever shot. Lee Daniels, director behind movies like Precious and The Butler, and he's the co-creator of Empire. Y'all know that he tends to put those cameras to cover certain topics and issues that most of us hear about, know about, but we've never seen in movies or TV. And tonight is going to be just that.
Tyrese Gibson, thank you so much for talking with us. We spoke with Queen Latifah and several other actors on the show, and they're all saying the same thing you are, that they are tackling tough
issues that make people talk.
And they're trying to make a difference.
Tonight is going to be crazy. You've got to tune in and watch it.
Nice meeting
Everybody.
you, sir.
I appreciate y'all for having me on. Thank you very much.
Continued success.
All right.
Corey is out.
All right, you guys. Well, Tyrese Gibson was in the studio early this morning. I mean, not physically in the studio, but he had a talk back with our anchors. I like him. I liked that fur coat. That was cool. Wasn't he in one of the Fast and Furious movies? I thought he was. Anyway, he's a great actor, so that was pretty cool. Wanted to show you guys that segment from earlier this morning. We had him in the studio. Someone in the chat requested that I show you some of the big moments from the Sanctuary Cities debate. We had a debate here earlier this evening here locally in Phoenix about whether or not Phoenix should be a sanctuary city, meaning that the police do not have to comply with ICE or any sort of immigration laws, but that would mean that we could lose a lot of money, but also mean that, you know, you could keep some people here safe. So a lot of people had different opinions on both sides, and we did clip some of the big moments during this debate. They had a live open mic where anyone could come in and share their opinions about this. We had some very passionate people there today, so we clipped the most passionate ones. So let me pull up this one. This girl gets pretty emotional. Let me make sure the volume's correct here. She gets pretty emotional when she gets up to the mic, almost stunned, like she doesn't know what to say, because you know when you get kind of emotional and then you don't want to cry, so you're trying to hold back your tears, but you want to talk. It was one of those situations, you know, you got to feel for her. She did a good job though, but let's take you to it. We did clip it. So let me get this ready for you guys. You can also head to the video section on our YouTube page. We have all the clips from the major moments in full. All right, let's take you there.
Hi. just want to come here to plead with you because I think we're in a state of, this is a humanitarian crisis. I'm speaking for my own family, who I'm afraid will be separated very shortly. I'm speaking for friends, lots of friends that I know. Actually, today a friend approached me and asked me if I would sign a power of attorney in case she was deported so that I could take care of her kids. I just want to point out the difference between crimes and, boy, this is, yeah, okay. I just want to say that these are people we're dealing with, and children, and the future of those children is in your hands, and it's your job to represent them and us. And if you don't do your job, I know Congressman DeCiccio just at the beginning of this said that no matter what we say, you know, basically anything we say doesn't matter because it's just going to be voted down. But I disagree, and I think that's a little bit fear, that's fear inciting. And I think that if you're going to threat to put down anything we have laid before you, then you'll be voted out, and I'm going to work hard to get that done. Anyway.
I think, Ms. Sario. Mayor?
All right, you guys, well, that was just one moment from that open mic debate that we had earlier today here locally in Phoenix about whether or not Phoenix should be a sanctuary city, a place for immigrants to be that won't get deported. That means that the police would not have to comply with ICE. Now, the city council was saying it's state law. There's not much we can do, and if we decide to go against the state law, we could pay some hefty fines. So there was definitely some strong opinions on both sides of this topic. That was one reaction. Let's take you to another reaction here. Again, a lot of people feel passionate about this, and I'm just going to show you these short clips from the debate earlier today. Let me pull this up. All right, here we go, you guys.
Thank you, Mayor.
Followed by Maria Castro.
What my deal is today about this is the ACLU thinks they could take over Phoenix, all right? And we need to put a stop to that because they're the ones that want these illegal immigrants here, all right, and take over our jobs. I don't think it's right that they do that. So they could make the money and we can't work. The other thing is, Mayor, I think what ICE is doing is the right job by deporting them to get rid of them. And I think Trump's doing the right job because of all these times and reports I hear on the news about the immigrants breaking and stealing things. All right? I see more of them stealing and robbing stores than anybody else. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you very much, Mr.
So that was coming in from another resident there sharing his opinions during this open mic debate about whether or not Phoenix should be a sanctuary city. I do have another moment I wanted to pull up for you guys. This guy saying that why should it be a sanctuary city for immigrants? It should be a sanctuary city for tax evaders. Now, hold up. Listen to what he has to say. Let's let him explain this.
Never in my life, my name is Fred Linsenmeyer, never in my life would I hear of a term sanctuary city. Sanctuary cities date back to the Middle Ages, where first they had sanctuary cities, and then they had city-states with walls built around them. I'm living in the United States of America in the 21st century. And sanctuary city for illegal aliens, I say, if you're going to have a sanctuary city, why don't you have a sanctuary city for tax evaders? I don't like paying my taxes, but that's the law. I pay my taxes. If I'm going to have a sanctuary city, let it be for tax evaders. Let Phoenix be a sanctuary city for tax evaders.
so I don't have to pay overpaid politicians and employees out of my taxes. Now you have, first you have sanctuary cities, and then you have sanctuary states, and pretty soon you have sovereign states, and pretty soon you have the end of the United States, and the disintegration of the United States. You swear to support the Constitution, and the Constitution says nothing about sanctuary cities or sanctuary churches.
We appreciate your testimony very much. Next speaker.
That's another speaker there from that open mic debate that they had earlier today. They only get a little bit of time to talk, so that's why they have to sort of end the conversation, because they have to get to the next person. I was saying, what if it was like at the Golden Globes where they play that classical music in the background when the speaker's coming down to the last few seconds they're allowed to speak? But no, it's not like the Golden Globes. This is a more serious topic, and they just have to keep moving on to the next person here. All right, you guys, well, I'm going to put up another top story for you, but in the meantime, real quickly here, I'm just going to take you to a live look of New York City. All right, you guys, welcome back, and thanks for joining me here on the Fox News Now stream. Appreciate you watching with me. It's about 8:44 here in Phoenix. Let me know in the chat or tweet at me, Mary Kate Fox 10. Where are you watching right now? A lot of you watching from all over the U.S. Most of you aren't even watching from Phoenix, so I appreciate you guys staying up late or hanging out with me here on the show. Myself, I'm from Ohio. I know how it feels to be in that cold weather, you guys. But it's coming to an end soon, don't worry. We won't have to deal with it forever. Let's pull up, though. I want to take you to this next story here. I thought these stories were pretty interesting. Our anchor, Ron Hoon, was in the newsroom earlier today, bringing us the trending, most talked about stories here on the show. So let me get this volume up for you guys. Actually, let me make sure that this is not playing. Okay. This is all set up for you guys. Billy Joe in the chat saying he's watching from Minnesota. Thanks for watching, Billy. Peter saying California. Cody saying Australia. Michael saying Canada. Killer saying Illinois. King saying California. Striker saying Colorado. Bad Virus saying London, UK. Lurs saying New York. So yeah, you're right. You guys are watching from all over. Battle Cam saying Hawaii. Love Hawaii. That's awesome. Thanks for joining me. You guys are watching from all over. Great in the chat saying I'm watching from Texas. Sorry, I can't read all your full chat names sometimes when it moves so fast. Ernest saying Alabama. Pretty cool. Thanks, you guys, for watching from all over the U.S. right now. John Smith saying I'm also from Ohio. Thanks, John. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I'm from Cincinnati, so appreciate a fellow Ohioan watching. A lot of you watching from California too. We stream all of the police chases that happen in California. So if you're watching from California, we're the one you want to watch because we're always covering the police chases. And you can find, sometimes, rarely, you can find another live stream of the police chase, but there's never a commentator to give you guys the latest information, and you're unable to hear anything. So that's why this is the best place to watch. Rage TV saying he's watching from Florida. Hey, President Trump's going to be there this Saturday in Orlando for a rally, in case you're interested or not interested. Just thought I'd tell you. All right, you guys, thanks for telling me where you're watching from. Let's take you to the next story here. Ron Hoon giving you guys the top stories in the newsroom. Let's see what he has to say.
Look at some headlines this morning. Ron, what are you seeing?
All right, new video just coming into the newsroom, you guys. A terror attack in Pakistan. Suicide bombers strike twice in a matter of hours and with deadly results. 6 people killed, many more wounded. In one attack, the bomber struck a vehicle carrying prominent judges and other government officials. Hours earlier, a Taliban suicide bomber targeted the headquarters of a tribal region, killing a number of police officers and civilians. Well, it's going to be harder in this country to get a divorce in the future if you live in Texas. This is kind of unique. We're going to watch it closely, see how it goes. A new bill, HB 93, says not being able to work it out or just finding your husband or wife intolerable is not enough. The measure allows 6 and only 6 reasons for a legal divorce to proceed. One of the 6, of course, is adultery. Now, if the bill becomes law, critics say people will just make up one of those reasons if they want to get a divorce. Critics of the law say it's going to put people in a situation where they're going to claim one of the 6 allowable reasons when maybe that's really not the truth and might actually force people, if they want to be divorced, to commit perjury. No one's ever been on the cover of Sports Illustrated more than Michael Jordan. He made it 50 times. But when it comes to the swimsuit edition, here's a rare honor. Supermodel Kate Upton just got her 3rd cover. She's so popular, you guys, it's all happened just within the last 5 years. In fact, in 2012, she was just getting started with her modeling career, and now she's one of the most well-known models in the world.
Wow.
So how about that?
So 3 is the record? I would have thought Christy Brinkley or somebody else.
No, I'm just saying the all-time record is 50 for Michael Jordan. She's got a long way to go to catch him.
Yeah. And she's a model,
she'd have
so
to have
chances are she's not getting to 50.
She'd have to have 47 more years of supermodel covers in the swimsuit edition.
Kate Upton at 65. Yeah. She looks fantastic. But you know who looked really good? It was, we just had Christy Brinkley.
Christy Brinkley and her daughters.
She looks great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, Ron.
Yeah. Sure.
Pretty cool. Yeah, Kate Upton. Gotta love her, right? Pretty good. What do you say, you guys? She's beautiful. Good for her. All right, you guys, appreciate you watching with me live here on the Fox News Now stream. It's about 8:49 here in Phoenix. Thanks for watching. We're taking you all the top stories here on the stream, and of course, I'm always checking the feeds. And if you're wondering, what do you mean by feeds? I'll show you. Right here behind me, you can see the feed board. Let me put up the lower third too, that we keep an eye on. You can see we've got a live shot of the Capitol building, of the White House, of New York City. So we're always checking them. But every once in a while, you see a car chase pop up, or we get news from national that something's happening. We always take you there live. So don't worry, we're always double checking on the feeds. So we're not missing any breaking news. But I do want to take you to, some other stories that I think you guys would be very interested in. This one I thought was pretty interesting. This is we always have TMZ chatting with us, you guys. because they break stories quite often. I mean, they were the ones that broke the story of Michael Jackson. They're always breaking the news here, and we did have a chance to talk with TMZ a little bit earlier today. So let's take you to this segment. I want to answer this question real quick. Rifleman saying, what do you think about talk show host Alex Jones? Hey, he gets viewers. He knows what he's doing. That's what I have to say. All right, you guys, let's take you to this segment, TMZ.
It's TMZ Tuesday. For all the latest in Hollywood news, we go to Brad Appleton. And I got to tell you, Brad, as a kid growing up, Indiana Jones could do no harm. But Harrison Ford, the actor, is having more trouble flying airplanes. What is he up to now up in the sky?
He is. Luckily, this time wasn't as serious as back in, you'll remember, 2015. He was in that very serious wreck that he luckily recovered from. But Monday, he was down flying a single-engine plane in Orange County, California, and he was going in for a landing. He got clearance from the employees there, and he mistook a taxiway, which is where the planes obviously go out to the runway, for a runway, and he flew directly over a 737 that was loaded with passengers, narrowly avoiding them. Obviously, really scary situation. And what we learned today is now the FAA is investigating the incident to see where the miscommunication was, if it was strictly on Harrison, if he was given improper landing instructions or what. But definitely lucky situation for both Harrison and those in the 737, because, like you know, obviously could be a very, very dangerous situation with that many people in a plane and another one landing on top of it.
It's a lot of souls to, you know, destroy their lives over your hobby. This is trending on Twitter, and a lot of people are saying, okay, it's time to hang up the keys, Harrison Ford. Time to find another hobby. Whoa. Is that kind of the consensus?
The easy joke here is no more flying solo for Harrison Ford.
For Han Solo. I love it. All right, Brad Appleton with the latest.
That's pretty bad, I know.
No, it's perfect. From Hollywood at TMZ. Thanks, Brad.
All right, you guys, so I just wanted to update you again, the Harrison Ford story, had to take you to it, and the folks at TMZ were nice enough to chat with us a little bit earlier today and tell us about what was going on. So what do you guys think? Appreciate you watching with me live here on Fox News Now, and if you have any comments, questions, concerns, opinions, tweet at me, Mary Kate Fox 10. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Let me put the lower third up here. Love to put your comments on the air here so that you guys can get more followers too, and we can have open discussions about any topic here on the show, and we can always continue the conversation after the show ends and keep chatting about what's going on in the news. So that's always good. I want to pull this up for you guys. I'm always checking President Trump's Twitter because, you know, the tweets keep coming in and you never know. You don't want to miss one. Let me pull this up. I think it's this one, right? Okay, here it is. Sleep and health. Okay, I'm the type of person, I need my full 8 hours. I don't feel good only getting 5 hours of sleep. I mean, I can function, but I end up feeling really hungry the whole day because my body's trying to get energy from something. So I end up, you know, feeling more hungry. My alertness, my reactions aren't as quick. I feel dried out. I feel like my eyes are dry. I just don't function as well without those full 8 hours. What about you guys? I know some people that can go just on 4 hours of sleep. I mean, I can, but I prefer not to, you know? Let me know, how many hours of sleep do you guys need? Let me know in the chat or tweet at me. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I mean, it's not exactly, it's sort of embarrassing to admit. I wish I could say, oh, I only need a few hours of sleep and I'm good to go. I need the full 8. Michael J saying, LOL, me too, 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Yeah, I need it. And it's interesting too, because if you don't get enough sleep, you actually feel more hungry throughout the day because you're trying to replenish yourself. You're trying to get energy from something. All right, well, let me know in the chat. I'll read your comments after this, but let me take you to this segment and you guys can let me know what you think about this.
All right, checking in with our Fox medical team this morning, just in time for Valentine's Day.
If you're over 50, as a woman, a more satisfying sex life could be just a good night's sleep away.
Okay.
How about that, Dr. Mike?
Tell us more.
Yeah. You have our attention.
Well, I'll tell you what I did. Troy and Andrea, I wrote a doctor's note for my wife to stay home and sleep all day long. How do you like that?
Well, first of all, you're the best husband ever.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's our dream, is just to sleep more, us ladies.
Yeah, that's romantic on itself.
Well, and as I say many, many times, in God we trust and everyone else show me the data. And the data shows that if you're a woman over 50 and you get 7 or 8 hours of sleep a night, your satisfaction from sexual activity goes through the roof. Unbelievable. So you need to make sure that your significant other, or if you're listening and you're a woman, you got to get enough rest. If you're over 70, you only need 5 hours. Not sure why that is. But listen, as we get older, I don't want to just live a long life. I want to live life full of enrichment and being active. So all of us have to put a lot of energy into our 401k, our health 401k.
And if you're over 70 and you're still worried about, having a good sex life, bless you. That's outstanding.
Yes, fantastic. Go you.
Troy, come on, man. What are you talking about?
Get with the times, man.
What?
I know.
Listen, you're living life large. I have patients in their 80s who are still going strong. Come on, man. Yeah, gotta make it happen. Come on,
wow.
Come on, Troy.
Close
Come on.
the deal.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's
yes.
right.
It makes sense though. when you're rested and you've slept, you feel like a whole different person in every aspect of life. I mean, at any age, for that matter.
Well, no question about it. And Americans in general are sleep deprived. And it is a major problem. Not only does it affect your sex life, but it affects your longevity and your health and your weight. So all of those things are critically important.
Okay.
Get your rest.
Get your rest. Doctor's orders.
Right.
Dr. Mike, thank you. Happy
nice talking with
Valentine's
you.
Day.
You too. And you know what? Talking to you guys, it's always Valentine's Day. You know why? Because I love you guys.
And
love you.
we love you big time right back. So, have a good
Thanks,
one.
Dr. Mike.
All right.
It's almost worth flying back there a couple times a year to be his patient.
Right? We've
Wouldn't
said
that be
that
fun?
before.
Have you really?
Yes. Can we be your patient? Will you fit us?
All right, you guys, so I just wanted to show you that last segment of the evening. I think that's a good one to leave off on, right? Appreciate you guys watching with me live here on the Fox News Now stream. That is the end of tonight's show. Thanks for watching with me. If you want to continue the conversation, just head to my Twitter account, MaryKateFox10. Tweet at me. We can continue the discussion. But if not, I will see you again tomorrow here on Fox News Now. Thanks for joining me.